Right, morning ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to an AfriCall and our partners Meerkat on our last auction of the year. We'd like, on behalf of AJP Properties Holding, welcome to you to this wonderful equipment catering auction. As you can see, all this equipment is in here is for sale and it's unencumbered and it's sold without reserve. Ladies and gentlemen, and the people online, I hope you're ready. We are selling and everything has to go. It is unreserved and it's got to go. We are selling, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to sell. I'm going to go through the rules and regulations. Please, I want you to pay attention and listen very carefully. All purchases must be paid by the end of business today. It must be paid by the end of business today. Anyone who does not pay by the end of business today, your items will be cancelled and it will fall to the second bidder. We are not going to wait for a payment tomorrow, the next day, the next week, or the day after. We are not going to wait. We've been instructed by the owner of the equipment that he wants the payment by the end of the day, or otherwise we have to vacate the premises by Friday next week. Friday next week. Okay? You have to be registered with a 5,000 rand deposit. Okay? The refunds via EFT after the auction will be done. Okay, there's a 10% buyer's commission, 15% VAT will be levied. Okay? All goods are sold footstoots, as you see what you see. Any item that is not working, I will inform you on the way. If you're interested, you'll buy it as is as well. It's your responsibility to have it repaired. If there's a button, or if there's a handle, or if there's a glass, or anything broken, don't come to me and say to me, but I didn't see it. You had a chance to come and view. We gave you long enough time to view. Okay? The auctioneer has the right to defend the seller's items. It's my discretion if I want to withdraw it, or if I want to sell it, or if I want to defend it. Anyone who does not pick up by next Friday, they will be removed from here and take it to the owners or to the auctioneer's storage, and you will be liable for transport and storage fees. The rules of this auction comply with the Section 45 of the Consumer Protection Act of Act 68 of 2008. Any further questions before we start? Are we all ready? Meerkat, as julle mense ready. Baie dankie and welcome and thank you for the last year with AfriCall. Hope next year will be bigger and stronger. Right, are we ready? Let's go. Which is mine? This is yours also. Okay. As I said, I'm going to say it for once more. If it's not working, wat gaan nou nou? Okay, if it's not working, we will tell you when it comes to you. I'm not going to mention, only when it's not working, we will tell you it's not working. You're buying it, but everything is footstoots. Right, ladies and gentlemen, here we come with the biltong dryers. What are we to say? And we have bids already online, so if there's a bid, I'm going to start by the bid. Okay, right, biltong dryer number one here, biltong cabinet. Start anywhere now, where we're starting now. What do we got now? At 1,000 I have now, 1,000 I have now, 2,000 I have now, 3,000 now. At 3,000 now, 4,000 now. At 4,000 now, I'm going to sell it. At 4,000 now, 5,000 I have now in front here. At 5,000 then I'm going to sell the biltong dryer. And I'm going to sell it, it has to go. At 5,000 then now. At 5,000 on the floor now here in front of me. At 5,000 then now. At 5,000 then for the biltong cabinet. And it's working, this one I can tell you now. At 5,000 then, at 6,000 now on the net. At 6,000 then on the net now. At 6,000 then now, I'll take. At 6.5 anyway now. At 6.5 now. At 6,000 then on the net now. At 6,000 then for the first biltong dry, and I'm going to let it go. At 6,000, no more. Your buyer. 6.5 I have now. At 6.5 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 now. No further bids at 6. At 7 now. At 7,000 now. At 7,000 now. At 7,000 now. At 7,000 now. I'm not glad at 7,000 round and we're going to move. At 7,000 now. No more 7,000. Ring for the first and the second. Bingo. Number 1406. 1406. Here we are now. Block number 2. Let's go now. Start menu now. Can I say 2,000 and now? At 2,000 I have now. At 3 to you, sir, now. At 4 now I have now. At 4,000 now. 5 to you, sir, now. At 5,000 and now. And it's a working one as well. At 5,000 and now. At 5,000 now, 6,000 now, 6.5 now, yes, on the floor. At 6.5 now, at 6.5 on the floor now. At 7 now, 7.5 if you want now. 7.5 on the floor I have now. At 7.5 now, at 7.5 now, against you, Meerkat. At 7.5 now, at 7.5 now, we're going. At 7.5 behind here. At 7.5 for the first. At 7.5 now, and I werk, and the sticks are inside. Everything is inside. You can open and look. At 8,000 now, at 8,000 now, at 8,000 now, at 8,000 now, against you, at 8,000 now, against you, sir, against you. No or in. At 9,000, he says, I'm coming. At 9,000 now, at 9,000, yes now, at 9,000 now, at 9,000 now, at 9,000, at 10, 9.5, at 9.5 now, at 9.5 now, at 9.5 now, at 9.5 now. At 9.5 against you. At 9.5 now. At 9.5. I'm a cloud for the first. At 9.5 for the second. Your number. 1406. Dankie. Here we go. One more. Biltong dryer with the stands inside. Open, guys. Open. Here we go now. What are we saying now? Start anyway. At 2,000 I have now. At 3,000 now. At 3. At 4,000 at the back now. At 4,000 now. At 4,000. At 5,000 now. At 5,000 now. At 5,000. 6 if you want now, sir. At 6,000 now. There it is. Hey, Var. At 6,000 there. At 6,000 I have now. At 6,000 now. Any further bids at 6,000 now. At 6,000 now. It's gonna go. At 6,000 there now. For the Biltong dryer. There it is. At 6.5 now. At 6.5 now. At 6.5 now. 7,000 now. At 7,000 now. I'm not caught at 7,000 rand. We're going to move now. No further bids at 7,000 rand. Number 1411. Baie dankie. Right. Look for a salad bar. A nice salad bar in working condition. In immaculate condition. Let's go. A salad bar. Start me now. Where do I start now? 5 to start now. At 5,000 to start now. Anyway, at 4,000 I have now. At 4,000 I have now. At 4 I have now. At 4,000 now. At 4,000 I have on the floor now. At 4,000. At 4,000 now. At 5 to you, sir, if you want. Thank you, sir. At 5 I have here now. At 5,000 I have now. 6 to you if you want, sir. At 6,000, yes, sir. At 6 behind you. I have 6 now on the floor here. At 6,000 now for the salad bar. You're not going to buy with a trace for that money. At 6,000 I have now. At 6,000 I have now. At 6,000 for the salad bar. At 6,000 rand now. At 6,000 rand now. No further bids at 6,000 rand for the salad bar. At 6,000 rand now. At 7 now. At 7 now. Against you, sir. Can I say 8,000? At 8,000. Yes, sir. At 8,000. Thank you. At 8,000 now. At 8,000 on the floor. Against me, cut. At 8,000 now. At 8,000 no. 8,000 now. At 8,000 now. I'm going to sell. At 8,000 now. Can't waste time with it. At 8,000 rand here in front. At 8,000 rand. No further bids at 8,000 rand. Nommer asseblief. 421. Baie dankie. Right, nog 'n biltong dryer, open, hier sê, hy's mooi, Freddie Hirsch. Kom help hom, Tolly, kom. There it is, and in working, with the rods inside, there it is. There it is. Start menu now, where do we go? At 2,000 I have now, at 3,000 I have now there, at 3,000 I have on the floor now, at 4,000, at 5,000 at the back now, at 5,000 I have at the back now, at 5,000 I have now, at 5,000 I'm not going to waste more time, at 5,000 there it is there, at 5,000, close it now, at 5,000 now, no further bids at 5,000 rand now, all done at 5,000 rand, I'm all done at 5,000, at 5.5, at 6,000 now. At 6 there, on the floor first. At 6 on the floor first. At 6 on the floor first. No further bids at 6,000 rand. Sold, sir. Let's go. Too late. We're going to move now. Right. Lot number 6. Let's go. Start me now. At 4,000 rand. Thank you, sir. At 4. At 5,000 now. 5.5 now. At 5.5. At 6 now next to you. 6.5 there. Thank you, sir. At 7,000 now. At 7. 7.5 now. 8,000. 8,000. 8.5. 8.5 now. 9 now. 9. 9.5. 10,000. No. At 9.5 there. At 9.5 I have now. At 9.5 on the floor now. 9.5 now for the bids at 9.5 and I'm going to go. At 10,000 now. I'll take 10.2. Small. 10.2. At 10.2 he says yes. At 10.2 now we're going. At 10.2 now. At 10.2 now on the floor here. At 10.2 on the floor. At 10.2 against you for the first. At 10.2 for the second. We're going. Thank you, sir. Number. Number. Thank you. Lot number 7 is a hot display counter. A heated display counter. A heated display counter. A heated display counter. Right. Start me now anywhere now. Can I say 3,000 to start? At 3,000 now, at 4,000 at the back there. Thank you, sir. At 4,000. 5,000 to you, sir, now. At 5,000 now to the back now. At 5,000 now. 6 to you if you want, sir. At 6,000 I have now. At 6,000 now. The hot display counter. At hot display counter. We're still far away. At 6,000 I have now. At 6,000 now. For the hot display counter. At 6,000 now. At 7,000 now, sir, at the back. At 7,000 if you want. At 7,000 now. 7 if you want. At 6 I have here. At 6,000 and yeah. No further bids at 6,000 rand. How much are at 6,000 rand? Normal. Seller yeah. Stop anyway. At 3,000 I have now. At 3,000 now for the hot display counter. At 3,000 and now. At 4,000 now. At 4,000 now. At 5,000 now. 6,000 now. 7 to you, sir. 8 to you, sir. At 7,000 now. No further bids at 7,000 rand. Nowhere. Okay. Right. Number 9 is a salad bar counter. Salad bar. Salad bar. Let's go. 3,000 here to start. At 3 I have now. At 3,000 now I have. At 3,000 now. At 3,000 now. 4,000 to you, sir. At 4,000 now. At 4,000 now. At 4,000 now for the counter. At 4,000 now. We're going to let go, sir. At 4,000 I have now. No further bids at 4,000 rand. All done at 4,000 rand. Number, sir. Let's go. We're getting a go. Lot number 10. Electric deep fryer, 3-phase. Let's go. Talk to me now. 2 to start. At 2,000 I have now, 2,000 and I have now, 2,000 and for the deep fryer. With the inserts at 2,000 and now. No further bids at 2,000 and now, and I'm going to let go. At 2,000 and now. I'm going to cut at 2 days and run. I will finish it done at 2,000. Red! Your number, sir. How much? I can't see. Shut up, please. Another deep fryer here. Another deep fryer here. Lot 11. Deep fryer. Lot 11. Start anyway. 2 grand to start. At 2 grand to start. At 1,000 anyway. Stop anyway. 1,000 in anyway. 1,000 I have. At 1,000 I have at the back there now. 1,000 I have now. 1,000 rand there. At 1,000 I have now. At 2,000 anyway now. At 2,000, thank you, sir. At 3,000 I have now. At 3,000 I have now, yeah. 3,000 on the net now. At 3,000 on the net now. At 3,000 on the net now. At 3,000 now. At lot 10 at 3,000 rand. No further bids at 3,000 rand. All done at 3,000 rand. Number 1420. Right. Lot number 12. Hot display counter. Hot display counter. Let's go. What am I to say? 4 to start. At 4,000 I have now. At 4,000 and now. At 4,000 I have now. At 4,000 and now. At 5,000. At 6,000 to you now. 7,000 now. 8,000 now. 10,000 now. At 8,000 I have on the floor here. At 8,000 I have now. No further bids at 8,000 rand. I'm a cloud at 8,000 rand. Your number, sir. Thank you, sir. 1-4. Thank you. Here's a lovely one. Lot 13. Deep fryer. 3-phase. Twin. Let's go. Start me anyway. 2 to start. At 2 I have now. At 2, at 3 to you, sir, if you want. At 3,000 I have now. At 3,000 I have for the deep fryer. At 3,000 I have now here. At 3,000 for the lovely fryer. In working condition, this one. In working condition at 3,000 rand. At 3,000 rand. At 3,000 rand. No further bids at 3,000 rand. It's gonna go at 3,000 rand now. My man at 3,000 on the floor. 3,000 rand. No further bids at 3,000 rand for the first. At 3,000 rand. No further bids at 3,000 rand for the deep fryer. I'm a cloud at 3,000. At 4. At 3.5 now against you, sir. 4,000 now to you, sir. At 4,000 he says yes. At 4,000 now he's in. At 4,000 he's in now. At 4,000 I'm in. At 4,000 now on the floor. I'm a cloud at 4,000 rand now for the deep fryer. With the inserts and bins and everything in working condition. At 4,000 rand, lot 13. At 4,000 rand. 4.5 now. It's against you now, sir. At 4.5 now. One more sir for you. At 5 he says yes. At 5 now he's in. At 5,000 is coming. At 5,000 now. At 5,000. At 5,000 rand. At 5,000 rand. Against you, Meerkat. At 5,000 rand for the fryer. At 5,000 rand. Alma Cloud at 5,000 rand. At 5,000 for the first. At 5,000 rand for the deep fry with the inserts. No more at 5,000 rand. At 5,000 for the first. At 5,000 for the second. No further bids at 5,000 rand. Number. Dankie. Let's go. Lot 14 is a hot display counter again. Let's go. Where do I want to start? 5,000 to you, sir. Thank you again. The last bidder, 5,000 again. At 5,000, at 6,000 now. At 7,000 now. 8,000 now. 9 to you, sir. Thank you. 9 to you. 10 now if you want. At 9,000 I have now. At 9,000 I have now. At 9,000 I have now. No further bids at 9,000 for the display counter. Hot display counter. Alma Cloud at 9,000 rand. Norman. Here's another beauty. 2-phase hot display deep fryer with inserts and lids. Lot 15. Lot 15. Let's go. Beauty in working condition. At 2,000 to start anywhere now. At 2,000 I have now. At 2,000 anyway. At 2,000, yes, I have at the back. At 2,000 I have now for the fryer. At 2,000 I have it, and it's going to go. At 2,000 now. No further bids at 2,000 rand. At 2,000 for the fryer. No further bids at 2,000 for nothing. At 2,000 rand for the deep fryer. No more. At 2,000 rand. Number. Thank you, sir. You can take it. Lot 16. Deep fryer again. Lot 16. Deep fryer. 2-phase or 3-phase? 2-phase. Let's go. Single phase. Let's go again. What am I to offer again? Start me anyway. He was first, sir. 2,000 I have now. 2.5 to you, so I'll go slow. 2.5. 3,000 now. At 3,000 I have now against you. At 3,000 against you here. At 3,000 now here. At 3,000 against you here. At 3.5 now. 4,000 now. At 3.5 here. I'll take small at 3.7. At 3.5 here on the net. At 3.5 on the net now. At 3.5 now. At 3.5 now. At 3.5 now on the net. At 3.5 now. At 3.5 now. Anyway, at 3.5, at 3.7 anyway. I'll go small. At 3.7 anyway now. At 3.7 now. No more at 3.7. Almal klaar at 3.7. You'll bid it. 3.5. At 3.5 is on the net. At 3.5 on the net. No further bids at 3,700 rand. For the first, I'm going to sell at 3.5 now. No further bids. Your buyer. Here's a bigger one. Let's go. Lot 17. En hy werk. Lot 17. Start me now. 2,000 again to start. Thank you. At 2,000 now. With the inserts again. At 2,000 and now. At 3,000 now. At 4,000 now I have now. At 4,000 for the fryer. At 4,000 and now in working condition. At 4,000 now. At 4,000 now. He say, start your fish and chips quickly. At 4,000 now. At 4,000 rand now. No further bids at 4,000 rand. All done at 4,000 rand. We are selling at 4,000 rand. All done at 4,000 rand. Nommer. Here's a beautiful gas griller. Daar's hy. Nice little griller. Lot number 18. Lot number 18. Talk to me now. 1,000 to start. At 1,000. Thank you. 1,000. At 1,000 I have now for the griller here. At 1,000 and for the griller here I have now. At 2,000 I have now against you, sir. At 2,000 I have now for the griller. At 2,000 I'm going to sell. At 2,000 rand now for the griller now. At 2,000 rand now. At no further bids at 2,000 rand. All done at finish at 2,000 rand for the griller. Almal klaar? At 2,000 rand. No more. Nommer. 1003. Yo. Lot number 19. Cold display counter. A cold display counter in beautiful condition and working. A cold display counter. Let's go. Where do we go? 5 start. 5 start. Thank you, sir. At 5,000 I have now. At 5,000 I have now. A sushi display counter. Let's go. 5,000 I have now here. At 5,000 I have now to start. At 5,000 now. At 5,000 now go. At 5,000 I'm going to sell. At 5,000 now. No further bids at 5,000 rand. Nommer. Let's go. Lot 20. Gas griller. 12 burner. 12 burner gas griller. 12 burner. Beautiful. Anyway, 2,000 to start. At 2,000 I have now. 2,000 now. At 2,000 I have now. At 3,000 I have now. 4,000 behind. 4.5 now. At 4.5 I have now. At 4.5 I have now here. At 5 now. 5.5 I have on the floor now. At 5.5 I have on the floor now. At 5.5 I have that floor. At 5.5. Not for the bids at 5.5. 6,000. 6.5 now on the floor. At 6.5 on the floor. At 6.5 now. Not for the bids at 6.5. 7 now. We'll go small. 7.2 now. At 7.2 now he says yes. At 7.2. 7.3. 7.4. At 7.4 on the floor now. At 7.4 on the floor now. At 7.4 on the floor now. No further bids at 7.4. No more. 7.4 on the floor. No more. Right. Pot burner, gas. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pot burner. Bring your camera here so you can kyk. Daar's hy. In a beautiful condition. There it is working. Pot burner. Gas cooker, 4 burner. Right. 1,000 to start. At 1,000 I have now. At 1,000 now. 1,500 anywhere else. At 1,500. At 1,500 I have now. At 1,500 now. At 2,000 behind here I have now. At 2.5 now I have now. At 2.5 on the floor against you, Mirkat. At 2.5 against you here. At 2.5 now. At 2.5 now and I'm going to sell. At 2.5 now. At 2.5 for the gas burner. At 2.5. At 2,500 and now. Anywhere at 2.5 against you. Anywhere at 2.5. At 2.5 for the gas burner. At 2.5. 2.6 now. At 2.7. At 2.7. At 2.7 here. At 2.7 now. At 2.7. 2.8. 3,000 now. At 3,000 now. At 3,000 rand now. At 3,000 now. At 3,000 rand now. Here. At 3,000 now. Anyway. 3-1. 3-2. 3-2 here on the floor. At 3-2 on the floor. At 3-2 on the floor. 3-3. 3-4. 3-5 if you want. 3-6. 3-7. 3-8, sir. 3-9. 4,000. At 4,000 I have on the floor now. At 4,000 rand now. At 4,000 I'm going to sell now. At 4,000 rand. At 4,000 rand now. No further bids at 4,000 rand. At no further bids at 4,000 for the first. At no further bids 4,000 for the second. For 1 now. At 4-2 now. At 4-2 now. At 4-2 now. At 4-2 now is in. At 4-2 now is in. At 4-2 now is in. At 4,200 now. 4-3. At 4-3. At 4-4. At 4-4. At 4-4. No further bids at 4,400 rand. At 4,400 rand. For the first. For the second. Number, sir. Right. Lot 22 is a fridge. A nice fridge. Daar sê. Hierso. Daar is die fridge. Daar is die fridge. En hy werk. En hy werk. Talk to me now for the fridge. At 2,000 start anyway. Thank you, sir. At 2,000 I have for the fridge now. At 2,000 I have for the fridge. At 2,000 now for the fridge. At 2.5 I have now. At 2.5 now. At 3,000 now I have now. At 3,000 for the fridge now. At 3,000 I have for the fridge now. 3-2 to you. 3-3 now. At 3-3 for the fridge now. At 3-3 for the fridge I have now. At 3,300 for the fridge. At 3,300 for the fridge now we're going to sell. At 3,300 for the fridge. Almal klaar at 3,300. All done for 3,300 rand. As jy uit at 3,300. Nommer asseblief. Dankie. Right. We are selling all the bain-maries. Am I right? 23 is assorted dishes. All the bain-maries together. Almal. All the bain-maries. All the bain-maries. Start with something for all the bain-maries. All the bain-maries. 1,000 start. Yo. Thank you, sir. 1,000 I have here. 1,000 and I have here. For all the dishes here. Every single one. At 1,000 I have here, it's for a song. At 1,000 I have now. At 1,500 if you want, sir. 1,500 now. 2,000 I have now. At 2,000 I have now. At 2,000 now. 2.5. 3,000. Look at them. And the bottom, sir. My apologies. The top and the bottom. Full here and on top. At 3 I have now. 3-2 I'll go slow. 3-3. 3-3. At 3,200 then I have here on the floor. At 3,200 for everything, the top and the bottom. At 3,200 here. At 3,200 rand here. 3,200 rand. Dishes against you. No more. At 3,200 rand. Almal klaar. Nommer asseblief. Right. Heavy duty stainless steel table. There it is here. Lot 24. Heavy duty stainless steel table. Lot 24. Right. What am I to say for the table? What am I to say? At 1,000 I have now. At 1,000 now. At 1,2 now I have now. At 1,4 I have now. At 1,4 I have now for the table. At 1,5 now. At 1,5 now. At 1,5 now. 1,6 to you if you want, sir. At 1,6 I have now. At 1,600 against you on the floor. At 1,6 now. At 1,600 in. At 1,600 in for the table. At 1,600 in on the table. At 1,600 in against you. At 1,600 in. At 1,7 now. At 1,7 against you on the floor. At 1,7 on your bid at 1,700. I'm selling all the canopies. 1, 2, 3, and the Clearnce. Yeah, 4 canopies. What's off on all the canopies? All the canopies. You can see there's a focus. All the canopies. How much? Same to you, sir. 2. I have 2 on the floor. I have 2,000 on the floor for all the canopies. For all the canopies. At 2,500 now, 3,000 if you want now. At 3,000 for all the canopies now. At 3,000 for all the canopies now. At 3,000 rand. At 3,000 rand now. At 3,000 for all the canopies now. At 3,000. Scrap value, they're worth more. At 3,000 rand now. At 3,000 rand now. At 3,000 rand now. No further bids at 3,000 rand. You have to put the subject to confirmation. So I will confirm after. Right. Lot 26, the ovens, is a tracing. The trolleys are here. You can see the trolleys are in. Okay? The ovens, there we are. You can do as many as you want. Okay? Are you in? Are we ready? 3,000 to start per oven. At 3,000 per oven. At 3,000 I have per oven, thank you. At 3,000 per oven with a trolley inside. At 3,000 I have per oven. At 3,000 per oven, now we're going to sell. At 3,000 they must go. At further 3,000 rand per oven. Almost done at 3,000 rand per oven. As jy klaar at 3 days. 4 or you want how many? For 1. Right. Let's go. The next one. 3,000 to start. He wants 3,000 again. 4,000 now. At 4,000 now oven. At 4,000 in an oven. At 4.5 for the oven. At 5,000. At 5,000 rand now. No further bids at 5,000 rand. Nommer asseblief. 40. Net inside. That's it. Hoeveel no? At 3,000 for the oven, no. At 3,000 rand for the oven. At 3,000 now for the oven, and I'm going to sell them. It's no reserve here. At 3,000 rand. At 3,000 for the oven now. No further bids at 3,000 rand. All done at 3,000 rand. No more. Sold to you, sir. How many? 3,000 now. No further bids at 3,000. 4,000 bids at 4,000 rand. All done at 4,000. You are number. Right, we're done. Yes, spare trolleys. 4 spare trolleys for these ovens. For the trolleys. 1,000 for 4. 1,000 rand. No further bids at 1,000. We are selling. I don't care. Get trolleys. Let's go. There is 2 of them. What am I to say for them? What am I to say for the display trolleys? 500 and I have now. At 500 display trolleys here. For 2 trolleys. At 500 and now. 1,000 and I have now. 1,000 and I have now, and I'm going to sell them. At 1,000 and I have now. 1, 2 I have now. At 1, 2 I have now for the display trolleys now. At 1, 2 now. No further bids at 1, 2 now. I'm not clear at 1, 2. Your number, sir. Gone. Right. The prover. Let's go for the baking prover. Here it is. The prover. Let's go. How much for the prover? Lot number 32. Lot 32. Up the pace now. Lot number 32. What am I to say? Start anywhere for the prover. 1,000 rand for the prover. It's got to go. It's got to go. Hit 1,000 I have now for the prover. 1,000 rand for the baking prover I have now on the net. At 1,000 rand, I'm going to let it go. At 1,000 rand now. At 1,000 rand for the prover. At 1,000 rand now. No further bids at 1,000 rand. I'm a klaar. All done for the prover at 1,000 rand. I'm a klaar for the prover. Nommer, man. That's it. Laat het gaan. Here's a biltong cabinet, many rods inside, double, long one, groot een, the biltong cabinet. Let's go, the big one, the biltong cabinet, and it's the last. It's the last. Number, what's the lot number? 33, the biltong cabinet, dryer. Praat met my.
Ik per ongeluk op lot 32 die maar wil 33 die. Ek moet kyk of ons dalk lot 32 weer kan opvul asseblief.
Okay. They want to put up 32. They thought it's a biltong cabinet. I'm going to put this one up again, the prover. Any further, start at 1,000 for the prover, 1,000 rand for the prover. Any further bids for 1,000 rand, 1,000 rand for the prover, 1,000 rand anyway for the prover. No bids on the prover. No one. Withdraw. Let's go. Lot 33 for the biltong cabinet, double cabinet. Lot 33 in working condition. Lot 33. Let's go for the dryer. Had 1,000. I have now at one. At 1.4 now I have now 1.5 on the floor now, yeah. At 1.5, at 1.6 now at the back there. At 1.7 if you want now for the double cabinet. At 1.5 I have now. At 1.5 I have now. At 1.6 now. At 1.7 I have now, yeah. At 1.7 and I'm going to move it now. At 1.7 now. At 1.7 now. Sorry? 1.8 now. 1.9 against you now. At 1.9, yes. At 1.9 now. 2,000 if you want now. At 2,000 now for the prover now. At 2.2 now. At 2.2 now against you. At 2.2 for the double prover. At 2.2 now. At 2.2 now. 2.3. At 2.4 now. At 2.4 now. At 2.4 now. At 2.4 now. 2.5 now. At 2.5 now. 2.6 now. At 2.6 now. At 2.6 now. At 2.6 here in front. At 2.6 now. At 2.7 now. 2.7 now. 2.8 to you now. 2.8. 2.7 here. 2.8 now. 2.8 now. 2.8 now. At 2.8 on the floor now. 2.8 yeah. At 2.8 now. At 2.8 now. 2.9. 3,000 now, Shabu. Baie dankie. At 3,000 now. At 3,000 now. 3.1 if you want. At 3.1 he says yes. Kom jy nog? Nee. At 3,000. 3.3 now here. At 3.33. At 3,300 rand. 3.4 now. At 3.4 now. 3.5 now. At 3.5 now. I'm klaar at 3,500 rand. For the double biltong dryer. Met die rakke at 3,500 rand. All done at 3,500 rand. 3.6. Baie dankie. At 3.6 now. At 3.6 now. 3.7. At 3.7 now. At 3.7 now. At 3.7 now. At 3.7 now. I'm klaar at 3.8. 3.8. 4,000. 3.9. Let's go for the 4,000 now. Looking at 4,000 rand. Dankie. At 4,000 I have. At 4.1 now. At 4.1 now. At 4.1 now. For the double biltong dryer. Buy a biltong dryer. Hunting season is coming, guys. Come now. At 4,100. At 4.2. That's a 4.3. At 4.4. At 4.4. 4.5. 4.6. 4.7. 4.8. 4.9. Round 5,000. Dankie. 5.1. 5.2. 5.3. At 5,200 I have now. At 5,200 and I'm going to close. At 5,200, no further bids at 5,200 rand. 5.3 I have now. At 5.3, I'm going to close at 5,300 rand. For the first and for the second. Gone. 1420. Baie dankie. Laat ons gaan aan. Parte do golo. Ja.
As jy 'n bord gekry het, jy toe maak, daar hierdie ou kan offer 1.2 plus 32.
Hoor.
Vir 32.
So.
Koop 'n nommer?
Kile de cosa. Kile de cosa. Pulsa de kile. Let's go. Where are we? Where's the petrol? Fix the voice. Lot 34. Lot 34. We're coming now with the big toys. It's a gas food warmer. Gas food warmer. There it is, double. Start me somewhere now. 1,000 to start anywhere now. At 1,000 I have now. At 1,000 for the gas. No more electricity. Gebruik die gas. He say, 1,000 and I have now. At 1,000 I have now and I'm going to sell it. At 1,000 I'm going to sell it. 1,000 rand. I mean, for the bids at 1,000 now. No further bids for the gas food warmer. En hy werk. He say, 1,000 rand for the gas food warmer. Double table. No further bids at 1,000 rand for the first. No further bids for the second. Nommer asseblief. Dankie. Let's go. Open up here. Gas oven. Gas oven. There it is. Open, Baba. Open. Open, Muna. Open. This side. This side. This is the door. That's the window. No. This side. Push on it. I hack. No. There's a. No. There. There it is. Gas oven. There it is. Passage so the people can see on the net. Close. Gas oven. Lot number 35. Am I right? Gas oven. Start me somewhere. Anywhere. 500 to start. 500. At 500 I have now. At 500 I have now. At 500 and now I'm going to sell it. At 600 I have now. Thank you, sir. At 600 now. At 700 I have now. At 700 I have now. At 700 now. 800 to you, sir. Thank you. At 800 I have now. At 800 I have now. At 800. At 900 I have now. At 900 I have now. We're going to sell it for gas oven. Gas oven. At 800. 900 I have now. At 900 I have now. At 900 I have now. 900 rand. No further bid of 900 rand on the cat. No cat. No cat. No oven. At 900 I have now. 1,000, thank you, sir. New player on the block, welcome. At 1,000 I have against you. At 1,000 and I have now. At 1,000 I have now. At 1,1 he says he'll take you on. At 1,2, sir. At 1,2 he says yes. At 1,2 now. At 1,3, 1,4. At 1,4 now. At 1,4, no further bids. At 1,4, my man here. At 1,4, yes. At 1,4 now. My man says 1,4. 1,4, no further bids. At 1,000. 1,4. Number, sir. Thank you, yours. Right. Bay Marie, nice. With the inserts inside. With the inserts, all of them. And it's werkend toestand. And a werkend toestand. Let's go. What am I to say? Lot number 36. Lot 36. Thank you, sir. 1,000 I have now. At 1,000 I have now for the nice Bay Marie. At 1,000 rand I have now for the Bay Marie. 1,200 rand anywhere now. At 1,200 rand now, sir. Thank you. 1,200 rand I have now. At 1,200 rand for the Bay Marie. At 1,200 rand. Just stand further back, sir. At 1,200 rand I have now. At 1,200 rand I have now here. No further bits at 1,200 rand. I'm a crowd at 1,200 rand. Number, sir. Let's go. Here's the magician. Magic slicer. Heavy duty slicer. He say, Rasay, lot 37. Lot 37 for the slicer. Beautiful slicer. En hy werk. En is mooi, met die tafel. Hy werk with the slicer and the tafel. Talk to me now. How much? Sir, you said 2, the net says 3. I have 3, sir, now 4 to you, sir. At 4,000 I have now. At 4,000 I have now. At 4,000 now, against you. You can't buy this even for... At 5, thank you, sir. New player at 5. 6 to you, sir, if you want. Talk to me, I'm the one. 5. It's 5 here. 6 to you, sir. I'll do the bidding. So you can't buy this thing for that money. 6. I'll take 6.5. Now I'll talk 6.5. 6.5 on the floor against the cat. Against the cat. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. It's over 40 grand this today new. At 6.5. And I'm going to sell it At 6.5 now, yeah. At 7,000 now. 7.5, thank you, sir. At 7.5 now, with a table and a VAT. 7.5, heavy duty slicer. 7.5 I have. At 7.5 I have now. At 8,000 now, against you, sir. 8.5, buy donkey. 8.5 now. 8.5, 9 now if you want. 9, they said yes. 9.5 to you, sir. 9.5, buy donkey. 9.5, actually bought me. It's a butcher man. 9.5. 10 to you if you want to the cat. 10 if you want to the cat. At 9.5, yeah, man on the floor. At 9.5, yeah, meat world is here. At 9.5 is here. At 9.5. At 9.5. At 9.5 for the first. At 9.5. It's Black Thursday. It's not Friday yet. It's here. At 9.5. At 9.5 for the first. At 10,000, they're coming late. At 10,000 now. At 10,000, not official. At 10,000 now. At 10,000 now. At 10,000. No more. Are you sure? At 10,000. At 10,000 rand, your buyer. 1419. I know. My petrol. Leave it down. Right. Benso. Is working, sir? It's working. Thank you, sir. Crown National Benso. Right. What's a lot? Lot 38. Lot 38. What am I to say, sir? 6. Why donkey? It's a bit. Had 6,000. I have now at 6,000. I have for the Clearnce National Show. That's for 6,000 and now. At 6,000 I have now. At 6,000 now. That's 6.5 now against you. At 7,000 I have now. At 7,000 now. 7.5, thank you, sir. 7.5 now I have now. At 7.5 now. At 7.5 now we're going to sell. At 7.5 now. I'm not cloud at 7. 8,000 now against you, sir. 8.5, buy donkey mania. 8.5 now. At 8.5 now. It's going to go and it's in good condition. I hear. 9,000 now. At 9,000 now. At 9,000 now. 9.5, buy donkey now. At 9.5 now. At 9.5 now. At 9.5 now. And it's going to go at 9.5. 10,000 now. At 10,000 now. 10.5. Buy donkey to the cut. At 10.5. 11. 11,000 says. 11,000, thank you. 11.5. We'll go small if you want.
Is 11 on the floor? Yeah.
11.2. Salam alaikum. How are you?
Yep, 11-2.
11.2. You want, my brother? 11.2 now. 11.3. Give me one more. Don't be scared. 11.3. 11.3 I have now. 11.3 I have now. 11.3 now on the floor. 11.3. 11.3. No more than 11.3. 11.3. Are you sure? 11,300 I'm going to sell it. 11,300 for the first. No more further bids at 11.3. Gone. كفالك. You will. Lot 39. Flat top gas griller. Flat top gas griller. 6 burner. Talk to me. Anyway. 1,000 to start. 1,000 to start. Thank you, sir. I have 1,000 now. I have now. I have 1,000 and to start now, and I'm going to sell. At 1,000 and I have now. At 1,000 and for the flat top gas griller. At 1,000 and now. 1,500 now here. At 1,500 and now here. At 1,500 and now here. At 1,500 for the gas top. At 1,500 and no further bids at 1,500 and. I'm a cloud at 1,500 and. No more asableef. Let's go. Another one. Gas burner. Lot number 40. Lot 40 here. Gas griller. 8 burner. 8 burner. What am I to say? At 1,000 I have here first on the net. At 1,000 now. 1,500 to you. At 15 I have now against you. 16 if you want on the net. I'll go slow. At 1,600 now if you want. At 15 on the floor. At 15 on the floor now. At 15 on the floor now. No further bids at 1500 rand. At no further bids at 15 for the first. At 1500 rand. No further bids at 1500 rand. All done at 1500 rand.
Yep.
2000, thank you. At 2000 against you now. At 2000 rand now. At 2000 rand now. No further bids at 2000 rand on the net. At 2000 rand now. Alma klaar at 2000 rand. All done at 2000 rand. All done at 2000 rand. Nommer asseblief.
1411.
Right, lot 41. Lot 41 is a bun maker, am I right? Yes, a bun divider. Lot 41 in werkende toestand. Let's go. What am I to say? Start me somewhere. How much? So, we have 4,000 already. We have 4,000 already. At 4,000 now. At 4,000. 5,000 now. At 5,000 now. At 5,000 now. At 5,000 rand now. At 5,000 now. At 5,000 now we have now. At 5,000 now. At 5,000 now. At 5,000 now. Anywhere against 5,000 rand now. At 6,000 to use if you want. At 6,000 now. Anywhere at 6,000 rand. At 5,000 here on the floor. At 5,000 rand. Almal klaar at 5,000 rand. At 5,000 rand. Rafiki, at 5,000 rand. At 5,000 rand. No further bids at 5,000. At 5,000 rand, I'm going to let it go. Sold to you, sir. What's this? Roll molder. Roll molder. Roll molder. Right. Where do we start with the roll molder? 1,000 I have now, 1,000 now, 2,000 at the back there, 3,000 to you, sir. At 4,000 now, at 5,000 if you want now, at 6,000 now, 7,000 now, at 6,000 now here, at 6,000 rand now here, at 6,000 rand now, no further bids at 6,000 rand, nommer asseblief. Dankie. Right, lot 43, bread slicer. Lot 43, bread slicer. Talk to me now. Talk to me now. Praat met my, meneer bread slicer. Where to start? A grain to start. At 1,000 I have now. At 1,000 I have now. At 1,000 I have now. Other guys, you're making me turn around. I'm getting dizzy. Other go that side. Please, can you all go that side or stand this side? I can't turn and turn and turn. Can I ask you to go that side? So I can see you. Are you bidding? No, sir. At 1,000 I have now for the bread slicer, yeah. At 1,000 I have for the bread slicer now. At 1,000 I have for the bread slicer. At 1,000 there. At 1,000 there for the bread slicer. At 1,000. 1,500 now I have against you, sir. 1,600 if I owe you want. 1,600 I have now. 1,700. 1,800. 1,900. 2,000. 2,100. At 1,900 I have for the bread slicer now. At 1,900 I have for the bread slicer here. At 1,900 I have for the bread slicer now. At 1,900. All done at 1,900. Nommer asseblief. Right. Let's go. Lot 44 is a dough mixer. Dough mixer. There it is here. And a verk. Dough mixer. There it is here. Lot 44. Yeah. Either come this side if you want to look or stand that side. There it is here. Lot 44. Let's go. Lot 44. Talk to me now.
Yep. 1,500.
1,500 I have now. At 1,500 on the net now. At 2,000 I have it on the floor now. At 2,000 and I'm going to move now. At 2. At 2,500 now. At 3,000 if you want, sir. At 3,000 he says yes. 3,500 now. At 3,500 if you want. I'm going to sell. At 3,500 now. I have 3 on the floor now. At 3,500 now. Around 4 to you, sir, if you want. At 4 to you now if you want. At 4. Yes or no? At 4,000. At 4,000 I have now on the net. 4,500 now. At 4,500 now. At 4,500. Yeah, at 4,500 I have on the floor now. At 4,500 now on the floor now. At 4,500 now. I'll go small at 4,600 if you want. At 4,500 I'm going to sell. At 4,500. At 4.5. At 4.6 if you want. At 4.6 I have now. At 4.6 I have now. No further bids at 4,600 rand. I'm not quite at 4,600 rand. You done? Sold. Let's go. Let's go. Lot 45. This is a... my glasses. Potato peeler. No, it's a mincer, this. Shredder. It's a shredder. Shredder bolt cutter. Shredder bolt cutter. There it is, a shredder. Right, lot 45, shredder. Had 2,000 I have on the net now. Had 2,000 I have now. Had 2,000 I take now. Had 2.5 now anyway. Had 2.5 now. Had 2.5 I have on the floor now. Had 2.5 I have now. Had 2.5 now. Had 3,000 I have now. At 3,000 I have on the net. At 3,000 I'll go slow. 3.2 now. At 3.2 yes, he says yes. At 3.2 now against you, the cat. At 3.2 against you. At 3.2 against you.
Yep.
3.4 now. At 3,400 rand. At 3,400 rand. At 3,400 rand. 3.5 if you want. Let's go small. Yes, he says 3.5 yes. 3.6 to you if you want. At 3.5 against the cat. At 3.5 against you. 3.6 if you want.
Yep.
At 3.6 he says yes. Against you. 3.6. No further bids. At 3.6. No on the floor. At 3.6 to the cat. No further bids at 3.6. Norman. Right. Hierdie, wat is hierdie nou? Potato peeler. Help my hierso. Is hierdie 'n potato peeler? Dis hy. Dis 'n potato peeler. Shredder, potato peeler, cutter. Right. Let's go here again. Lot 46 and a werk. Let's go. How much? At 2,000 I have on the net now against you again. Again. Let's say at 2.5 now. At 2.5 is on the floor. At 2.5 on the floor. At 2.5 on the floor and we're going to sell. At 3,000 now. I'll go slow. 3.2. 3.3. At 3.2 on the floor of the cat. At 3.3. 3.4. Bangaranki. 3.5. 3.5. Against. Thank you. Against 3.5. 3.6, yes. He says yes at 3.6 this time. 3.6, yes. To the cat. 3.7 if you want. At 3.7, private mail. Ons kom gou na for nothing. At 3.7 if you want. At 3.6 from the floor. At 3.7 on the floor. At 3.7 on the floor for the first. At 3,600 on the floor. At 3,600 for the second. No more. Sold on the floor. Here's the big boy. Here's the big boy. Here's the mixer. Here's the mixer. An industrial mixer. And it's a big one. Daar's hy. With all the attachments inside. Met almal. Praat met my nou. Talk to me now. Start me somewhere. And it's gonna go. At 3 to start. At 3,000 now. Thank you, sir. At 3,000 for the industrial mixer I have. At 3,000 and for the bakery mixer. At 3,000 and now I'm going to sell it. At 3,000 and now.
Yep.
At 3.5 now against you, sir. Can I say 4,000? He says yes. At 4,000 now I have. At 4,000 I have now for the mixer. At 4,000 I have now. At 4,000 are we going to sell? And it's working. It's working. Listen to me when I say it's working. At 4,000 now. At 4,000 now I'm selling. At 4,000 now for the mixer. At 4,000 now. No further bids at 4,000. I'm all clear at 4,000 rand. All done at 4,000 rand for the mixer. All done. Nummer. Dankie. This is the meat mixer. Am I right? Meat tumbler. And in immaculate condition and a van. Meat tumbler. Lot 48. Kyk hoe mooi is hy. It's like new inside. What's that? 551. 52. 55. At 5,500 rand is hy kom. 57. 58. At 5,800 rand now. At 5,900 now. At 5,900 now. At 5,900. 6,000. 6,000. 6.5 now. Let's not play games now. 6,1. 6.5 now. I say 6.5 now. I say Sukum. I the plus. 6.5 now. 6.5 no. 6.5 now. At 6.5 now. You're not gonna say. At 6.5 now. 6,6. 7,000. Ik kom nieuwe player. 7.5. 7.5. 8,000. 8,000. 8.5. 9,000. Kat julle moet kom nou. Is mense hierso. 8.5. 9,000. Sorry, I'm getting the cut is making me mad here. 9,000. 9.5. Round 10. Yes. Round 10 he says yes. Where do you want to go, sir? 10.2, 10.5, 10.5, the cat is awake. 10.5, you get 10.6. Go small. Is that? At 10.5, yeah. At 10.5, yeah. At 10.5. At 10.5. At 10.5. 10.6. 10.6. 10.7. Think again. Sunny money. 10.8. 10.9. Come buy it for that money. 11,000. At 11,000 rand. At 11,000 rand. 11.1. 11.1. 11.2. 11.3. 11.4 anyway. 11.4. At 11,300 rand. 11.4. 11.5. At 11,500. 11,600 rand. 11.7. 11,700 rand. 11.8. 9. At 12,000 rand. Talk to me now. At 12,000 rand I have. At 12,000 rand. At 12.1 now. At 12,100 rand. All done at 12,100 rand. 12.2. At 12,200 rand. 12,200 rand now. Mother Deliosa, miss. Mother Deliosa, let's go. 12.5. 12,500 rand. At 12,500. 12.6. Look how nice. It hasn't even been used. 12.7. 12.7. 12.8. 12.8 now. At 12,800 rand. At 12,800 rand. No further bids at 12,800 rand. Because I'm going to knock it down now. 13 anyway. Thank you very much. At 13,000 I have. At 13,000. 13.1. 13.1. 13.2 anyway. 13.2. 13.3. At 13,300 rand. At 13.4. 13.5. At 13,400 rand. 13.5. At 13.5. No further bids at 13.5. No more. For the first. At 13.5 for the second. Sold. Thank you. Here is the cowboy of the day, lot 49. Is the mixer, heavy duty bowl mixer, cake mixer, lot 49. Industrial mixer. Let's go. How much, sir? At 3,000, you're very jealous, sir. At 5,000 in front of you now. At 5,000 now. At 5,000 now. At 5, 6 to you, sir. 6 I have on the neck now. 7 now. 7 I have now. 8,000 if you want, sir. 8,000. 8,000. Praat met my now. 8,000 rand. It's 8,000 I have now. 9. 8,000 now. 9 now. 9. He says yes. 9. 9. 10 to you now. We're going up in thousands now. 10. 10. Kom nou. Geef my nog een. 11,000. Praat met my. 11,000. It's worth big money this. Yes, he says. He says yes. Yes. 11,000 rand. Come on. 11,000. 12,000. At 12,000. At 12,000 I have against the cat. At 12,000. 12,000 on the floor. He saw. Is by jou.
13.
13 no. 13 no. 13 no. 13,000, yeah. 14 to you, sir. One more. One more. Knock him out. One more. 14,000. Yep, he says. 14 I have now. Give him to me. Come the cut. He's going to wobble. At 15, he says, yeah. At 15 days and no. 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 At 15 days and box with me, man. 15,000 rand. No more. At 15,000 rand. As your 8 of in. Are you dancing? Are you at 15,000 rand? No more at 15,000 for the first. At 15,000 for the second. The cut. The mixer. I'm not. What's it going to do with you, sir? Do you want to do my job? This is a pen, am I right?
Tilting pen.
Tilting pen. Thank you. This is a tilting pen. You tilt. You tilt and you pen. It's a tilting pen. You see, it's a tilting, and it's like you. Look at it. It tilts. And it's working like new. It's working. Tilting pen. Let's go. Vulcan. Tilting pen. Start me, sir. How much? 4,000. He says, yes, my man. At 4,000 now. At 4,000 tilting. 5,000 in. No further bids at 5,000. Wat gebeur nou? 11 and a half, 12 now. At 12,000 he says yes. Ek gaan spaardag gaan nou. At 12,000 rand nou. At 12,000 nou. For the sausage filler. At 12,000 rand nou. 12 and a half, 13, nog een. Geef my nog een. 13, ja. At 13,000 rand. At 13,000 rand and a half. At 13 op die vloer. At 13 op die vloer. Tussen die kat. For the sausage filler. At 13,000. 13 and a half against you, sir, now. 13 and a half against you. At 13 and a half against you for the first. At 13 and a half for the second. No further bids at 13 and a half. Sold to the cat. Can you get people drinks, please, yeah? Sorry? Order, get some drinks inside for the people on the auction here. Just, ladies, can you get the drinks, please, from everybody inside? Right. The deep frying pans for the Kentucky. You can make the Kentucky. Same thing, like the Kentucky fried chicken here. Is it working, sir? It's working. Right, it's working. I've been told that it's working. Right. For the deep fryer, the henny pennies like the Kentuckys are called henny pennies. This is called penny henny. I don't know whatever it is. It's a fryer. At 4,000 I have now for the fryer. At 5,000 I have now here. At 5,000 I have now. 5.5 now. 6,000 yeah. At 6,000 I have now. At 6,000 I have on the floor here for the deep fryer. At 6,000 and I'm going to sell it. At 6,000 I'm going to sell the fryer. At 6,000 now. At 6,000 for the fryer and it's going to go. At 6,000 rand. At 6,000 I figure. At 6,000 sir. At 6,000 if I clear it. Andreas, at 6,000 rand, can I let it go? At 6,000 rand. At 6.5. 6.5. 7. At 6,000 rand. At 6,000 rand. At 6,000 rand. At 6,000 rand that birthday. At 6,000 rand for the fryer. At 6,000 rand for the fryer. Grant your bid. Let it go. Okay. Right. 53. Lot 53 is a cold display counter with an underbar fridge. Fridge, underbar fridge. Right. Underbar fridge. Let's go. Underbar with a top cold display. Start anyway. At 2,000 I have now. At 2,000 I have now. 2,000 now for the underbar fridge. At 3,000 now. 3.5. At 3,000 I have now for the underbar fridge and the cold display on top. At 3,000 I have now for the underbar and the cold display. At 3,000 now. At 3,000 I'm going to let it go. At 3,000 rand now. As jy klaar het 3 days in run. I'm klaar for 3,000 rand. No further bids at 3,000 rand. As jy 8. Nommer. Baie dankie. Let's go. Where we are now. Lot 54 is a stainless steel table. Lot 54. Hier kom die tafels nou. Start me now, yeah. At 500 rand, start me for the table. Stainless steel. At 500 rand behind you. 600 rand, 700 rand, 800 rand now. 700 rand for the table. At 700 rand for the table now. Lot 54. At 700 rand for the table. At 700 rand for the table, and I'm going to let go. At 700 rand for the table. 800 rand now. 900 rand for the table. At 900 rand for the table now. At 900 rand for the table now. 1,000. 1,1. 1,2, 1,3, 1,3 now on the floor. At 1,3 on the floor now for the table. Sorry? 1,4. Why don't you? At 1,4. 1,5. At 1,5 I have now for the table. At 1,5 against the cat. At 1,5 against the cat. No further. 1,6. At 1,6. No further bids at 1,600 rand. All done at 1,600 rand. 1,7 now. At 1,000, 1,8. 1,9. 1,9. At 1,9. At 2,000 now. At 2,000 now for the table. No further bids at 2,000. Ring! No more. No more. 1403. Once more. All the warmers together. All the warmers. And they're working the other out with the inserts inside. Lot 55. Put the number. Has everybody got something to drink, guys? It's on the house. Please help yourselves. Right. Lot 55. All the warmers. Bun warmers, sausage warmers. Lot 55. What do we say for all the warmers? How much? Thank you, sir. It's a bid. 500 I have now. At 500 and now I have now. Anywhere 800 rand, anyway I'll take. At 500 rand for all the warmers. 500 rand now for all the 3 warmers. 500 rand now. 800 to you, sir. At 800 I'll take now. 800 and 1,000 for all of them. Thank you, sir. At 1,000 I have now here. At 1,000 rand for all the warmers. At 1,000 I have now here. 1,200 anywhere else, yeah. At 1,200 if you want. 1,200 rand. Thank you. 1,200 rand. 1,300 rand. At 1,200 rand for all the warmers now. At 1,200 rand now all the warmers. At 1,200 rand now all the warmers. No further bids at 1,200 rand. Number. Right. Here's the tafel. The one table. Lot 56. Let's go. Lot 56. 600 I have now. At 700 rand I have now. At 700 rand I have now for the table. At 700 rand now. At 700 rand. No further bids at 700 rand now. At 800 rand. 900 rand. At 900 rand I have now. No further bids at 900 rand. All done at 1,000. 1,1 now. At 1,1 now. No further bids at 1,1. 1,2. 1,2. 1,3. 1,3 I have now on the floor. At 1,300 rand. 1,4. At 1,400 rand. All done at 1,400 rand. Nummer asseblief.
1409.
1409. Dankie. Hierso. Air conditioners. En hy werk. lot 57 and lot 58. Highest bidder can take the both. Highest bidder can take both. Let's go. Right, let's go. Nice aircons. How much? At 500 Rand I have now. At 500 Rand I have each. At 500 Rand now. At 500 Rand for the aircons now. At 500 Rand. At 500 Rand for the aircons. Nice office aircons. And the lever. It's working, sir. It's working. It's working. Buy down here and they're working condition. At 600 Rand now. At 600 Rand I have on the floor. Now for the bids at 600 Rand. 700 Rand. 800 Rand now. 800 Rand now. At 800 Rand on the floor now. 9. 1,000 now. At 1,000 now. At 1,000 Rand now. No further bids at 1,000 Rand. Sold to you. 1 or 2, sir? Both. Buy donkey. Sold both. Your number. Let's go. Lot 59. A fish display fridge. And it's free, and it's fridge. Fish display fridge. And in very good condition. And it's working. Thank you, sir. And it's working. Lot 59. Lot 59. A fridge display counter. Let's go. A beautiful year. Where's my man? Let's go. Talk to me now. 5 to start. Fish display counter. There it is. 3,000. 5 I have. 5 I have. 5 I have to start now. At 5 I have now. At 5 I have now. 5 I have for the fish display counter. 5 I have with the fish display counter. At 5,000 I have here, my man. At 5,000 I have now and I'm going to sell it. At 5,000 I have now. At 5 I have. At 5,000 I have now. At 5,000 I have. No further bids at 5. You're not going to buy this for this money. At 5,000 I have. At 5,000 I have. No further bids at 5,000 Rand. I'm not klaar at 5 days in run. Nommer asseblief meneer is Jonah. Baie dankie. Right. Here's a printer. Printer. Office big printer. Architectural printer. Praat met my. Any office. No reserve, it must go. No reserve. Hy moet gaan. No reserve. At 1,000 I'll take. At 1,000 I have now. At 1,000 Rand I have now for the printer. At 1,000 I have and I'm going to sell it. At 1,000 I have, I'm going to sell the printer. At 1,000 Rand I have. No further bids at 1,000 Rand for the printer. At 1,000 I have. 1.5 I have now for the printer. At 1.5 for the printer. At 1.5 for the printer. No further bids at 1.5 for the printer. At 2,000 Rand I have now. At 2,000 Rand I have for the printer. At 2,000 Rand. No further bids for the printer. At 2,000 Rand. At 2,000 Rand for the printer. No more time for the printer. Are you done at 2,000 Rand? Klaar. Nummer. Let's go. Where are we going? This way. Petrol. Lot 61. Lot 61 is a table. What I want to say on the stainless steel table. Start me. 500 Rand to start. 1,000 I have now. At 1,000 I have now. At 1,000 Rand for the table I have. At 1,000 Rand I have for the table. Any further bids at 1,000 Rand. At 1,000 Rand for the table. At lot 61. At 1,000 Rand. Any further bids at 1,000 Rand for the table. No further bids at 1,000 Rand. I'm not klar for the table at 1,000 Rand. I'm selling the table at 1,000 Rand. All done at 1,000 Rand. Nommer, laat ons gaan. The warmers together, lot 62. There's two. There's two warmers. Two warmers. Electric warmers. What am I to say for the warmers for both? For both warmers. Electric warmers. 1,000 for both. 1,000 for both. Thank you, sir. I have 1,000 for both. 1,000 Rand for both warmers. At 1,000 Rand I have for both warmers now, and I'm going to sell them. At 1,000 Rand for both warmers. 1,000 Rand for both warmers. No further bids at 1,000 Rand for both warmers. All done at 1,000 Rand. I'm not klar. Noem sir. Come. Here's a beautiful, what's it? Underbar. Here's a 3-door underbar in very good condition. Here's a and a ver. Here's a. There it is. A beauty. Here is a beauty. Underbar fridge. What do I want to start now? Start me somewhere now. At 3,000 I have now. At 3,000 now. 4,000 I have on the floor now. At 4,000 now for the underbar fridge. At 4,000, 3.5 door underbar fridge. 3 door, sorry. 3 door, full 3 door. At 4,000 I have now. At 5 now. At 4,000 and I have for the underbar fridge. At 4,000 and shall I in? Are you in? You're not connected?
No, we're connected, yeah. Just no bits.
Okay. Right, underbar fridge. At 4,000 and I have now. At underbar fridge for 4,000 rand. At underbar for 1,000 rand. 4.5 now against you, sir. 5 can I say? At 5,000 he says yes. At 5,000 now. At 5,000 now for the underbar fridge. At 5,000 rand now. At 5,000 rand now. At 5,000 now for the underbar fridge. At 5,000 rand now. No further bids at 5,000 rand. All done at 5,000 rand. We're selling it at 5,000 rand. All done at 5,000 rand. Normal. Let's go on. Here's a grillers, tabletop grillers, 65 and 64. Highest bidder can buy both. And they're werken. 1,000 I have now. At 1,000 I have a piece. At 1,000 and I have a piece for the grillers. At 1,000 I have for the piece now. At 1,000 I have 1,2 I have now. At 1,2 I have now. At 1,2 I have a piece. At 1,2 I have now. At 1,2 for the grillers. At 1,2 now. At 1,200 rand. At 1,2 and I'm going to sell them. At 1,2 now. At 1,2 now. Anyway at 1,2. None for the biz at 1,2. At 1,200 rand now. At 1,200 rand for the grillers. All done for 1,200 rand. Shall I at 1,200 rand? Normal. The one. Both. Thank you. Here is the oven. In working condition, only in transport, we broke the handle. That's all I can tell you. But it's in working condition. Okay? There it is. The convection oven. Okay? Lot 66. Lot 66. Start me somewhere. With oven. At 2,000 I have now. At 2,000 now. At 3,000 now. At 3 to you, sir. At 3 says yes. At 4,000. At 5,000. 5.5. 6,000. At 5,000 I have now for the oven. At 5,000 I have now for the oven now. At 5,000 I have now. 6,000 to you, sir. At 6,000 now, yeah. At 6,000 I have now against you. 6.5 if you want. At 6,000 now I have, yeah. At 6,000 now. At 6,000 now. At 6,000 now, yeah. And I'm going to let it go. At 6,000 now. At 6,000 now. At 6,000 rand now. No further bids at 6,000 rand and we're letting the conviction up and go. At 6,000 rand now. No further bids. Grant. Hey. At 6,000 rand. No more. Yours, sir. The fryer. Lot 67. Donut fryer. It's the donut fryer. Donut fryer. Talk to me now on the donut fryer. Where to start now on the donut fryer? Donut fryer. The donut fryer. Ons fry donuts hierso. 1,000. At 1,000 I have now. At 1,000 I have it behind you for the donut fryer. And I'm going to sell now quickly. At 1,000 rand now we're going to sell. At 1,000 rand for the donut fryer. No further bids for the donut fryer. 1,2 now. At 1,2. 1,3. At 1,3 I have now next to you, sir. At 1,3. At 1,3. At 1,3 now. At 1,3 now. At 1,3. No intimidation. At 1,300 rand. Against you. At 1,3. No bids. At 1,300 rand here. No further bids at 1,300 rand. Yours grant. Number. What is this one here? What number was it? 168. A table. Stainless steel table. Talk to me now. 500 first year. 600 to the cat if you want. 1,000 now. He's getting aggressive. 1,2. 1,3. At 1,2 now here on the floor. No further bids at 1,200 rand. I'm going to cut it 1,200 rand. Sold, sir. No time. Come. I'm tired now. Right. Let's go. 69. Let's go. Stainless steel. Electric chip fryer. Electric chip fryer. There it is. Buy a boy. Electric chip fryer. Start me now. How much? 500 he says. 500 he says for the chip fryer. 500 rand now. We're going to sell. 600 rand I have now. 700 now. 800. Look at me, sir. I'm the one who's going to take your money. 900. Now you can say 1,000 if you want. 900 he says. 900 my man there. 900 in the back there. 900 is Grant's bid. And 900 for the chip fryer. 900 against the cat. 900. No, nothing. They don't want chips. No chips. No fryers. At 900 and Grant bid. At 900 and now for the fryer. 900 and now for the fryer. No for the bids at 900 and for the chip fryer. No more. Grant. Right. Lot 71. Assorted utensils. 70, sorry. Deep fridge and working condition. Deep fridge and working condition. Talk to me. 1,100. At 1,100. I like the 100. 1,100 I have. At 1,100 I have now. 1,2 I have now. At 1,2 now. At 1,2 now. At 1,3 on the floor now. At 1,3 on the floor now. Against the cat. At 1,3 on the floor now. At 1,3 on the floor. At 1,3 on the floor. At 1,3 for the first. At 1,4 now. At 1,5. 1,5. At 1,5 now. At 1,5 now. At 1,5 now. At 1,500 rand. At 1,500 rand. No further bids at 1,500 rand. Excuse? No further bids. Nommer.
1408. 1408.
Right. Assorted utensils. Assorted. And the bin. Lot 71. Let's go. Lot 71. What am I to say? You're very generous. At 300 I have now. At 400 I have now. Here at 400 I have now. At 500 behind you now. 600 here. At 600 now. 700 to you, sir. 800 now. At 800 and I have now for the sorted utensils. At 800 rand now. At 800 rand now. No further bids at 800 rand because I'm going to sell. At 800 rand now. I'm not caught at 800 rand. No more. Isolate. The cut is 8. And the masters at play. No more. 1-4 double. Yiso, what is he? Fish display table. Ne? Fish display table. Fish display table. Lot 72. Right. Praat met my. Any offers? 500 I have now. At 500 I have now and I'm going to sell it. At 500 and I am going to sell it. Come on, Grant. 600 I have now. 600 I have now. At 600 and I'm going to sell this table. How much, sir? 700 I have now. 800 I had 8. 9. 1,000 I have on the floor. 1 come now to me. 1 to you if you want to the cat. 1 to the cat. No. At 1,000 I have on the floor. 1 now. At 1 now. At 1 now. At 1 now. At 1 now. 1 At 1,400 now. At 1 now. At 1,400 rand now. No further bids at 1,400 rand. Sold to you, sir. Right. 1 deep fridge. Deep fridge. 1 deep fridge. And it's called Vesexero. The name is Vesexero. Okay. You ready? Right. 1,000 I have for Vesexero now. At 1,000 now. At 1.5 now. At 1.5 now. At 1.5 now. At 1.5 now. No further bids at 1.5 now. At 1.5 now. No further bids at 1,500. Rand! How much? At 2,000. At 2.5 now. At 2.5 now. No further bids at 2.5 now. We've got to move now. At 2,500. 2,500 rand. No further bids at 2.5. Sold, sir. Let's move on. Let's go.
8,200.
Jy sien net daai plaasmannetjie wag vir julle. Jy het hom klaar gemoed, hy sê seer. Hy seer. Mense, hoeveel? 5,000 is what I have on the net now. 10,000 I have now. Hit 10,000 now. I say, come now. Come, it is at 10,000, at 11,000, at 12,000 on the floor, at 13,000, at 14, at 15 already, at 16, at 17,000 I have on the floor. 18,000 here. We're separating the men from the boys at 18,000 rand at the back there, 18,000 rand now, at 19,000, at 20,000 now, at 20,000 I have now, at 20,000 now, at 20,000 now, at 20,000 on the floor now, 21,000 now, at 21, at 21 and a half now, at 21 and a half now, at 21 and a half now, we are dancing. Zorba the Greek is here at 22, at 22, at 22. Mother de Dios, Amen. The Guinete Suleo, the Dios, Amen. 22 and a half, at 22 and a half now, at 22 and a half now, at 23,000, at 23,000. I'm not scared if he says, come catch me if you can, at 24,000, at 24,000 now, at 24,000, at 24,000, at 24,000. I'll take a half. You're not going to buy this. 25,000, at 25,000, at 25,000, at 25,000 and a half. And he says yes, at 25 and a half, at 25 and a half now, at 25 and a half, at 25, 26, he says yes. You said yes. He says 27. Buy a donkey meneer. At 27,000, at 27, we are boxing now. We are boxing, we're separating the men from the boys at 27,000, at 27 and a half, at 27 and a half if you want, at 27, 27, give him a one, let's knock him out, at 27,000, at 27,000, at 27 against the cat, at 27 against the cat, at 27 for the first, yep, 27 and a half, at 27 and a half against you now. 27 and a half. No further bids at 27 and a half. Your bid.
Separating the women from the boys.
Separating the cat. You must understand. The cat is always strong. You can't beat the cat. Petrol now for the Tragudiste. Right. Gustaris, eh? Right. This is the pasta. Which one? The table. Right. Lot 75. Lot 75 is the table. Heavy duty table. Stainless steel table. Let's go. Heavy duty table. Hambile. Ella. Pame. 600 I have now, 600 I have now, 600 and now, 700 I have now, at 700 I have got 700 now, at 700 I got 700 now, 700 I'm going to sell 800 now against you, at 800 now, 900 I have now, at 900 I have 900 now, probably now 900, at 1,000 now, 1,000 I have now, at 1,000 against you, sir, at 1,1 now, 1,1 I have on the floor, at 1,1 now, the probably now 1,1, at 1,2 now, 1,2, 1,2, 1,2, 1,2, at 1,2 now, 1,2, at 1,2 now against you, at 1,2 now, 1,2, at 1,2 now on the floor. At the cat, at 1,2 now, at 1,2 now, Pratham at 1,2, at 1,2 now, I'm going to sell at 1,200 rand for the table, at 1,2 now for the two, no more, Banga.
1409.
Right, here's the beauty, the pasta machine with the sauce trays. You choose to make pasta, any pastas, hang on, you put it in and it's working condition, the pasta machine. The pasta machine. Talk to me. Start me somewhere on the pasta machine. Lot 76. The pasta machine. 2,000 I have to start now. At 2,000 I have. At 2,000 I have now. At 2,000 I have. At 2,000 now. 3 to you, sir. Buy donkey. At 3 to you. The man from the Lupa. At 3,000 I have now. 3.5. I'll go slow. At 3.5, he says against you, sir. At 3.5, 4,000, 4,2. He says 4-2. At 4-2, sir. 4.5. It's 4.5. Give me one more. 4-6. At 4,600 rand. At 4,600 rand against you. At 4,600 rand. No. At 4,600 rand, my man. At 4,600 rand. My man for the pasta machine in good working condition. At 4,000. Julle eet die pasta nie daar by die platteland nie. Nee. Wat eet julle? Vleis. At 4,600 rand. At 4,600 rand. Nubbins, my man. Let's go. Here's a beauty griller. Here is the griller, the beauty. There's a beauty. Here's the beauty. The clean beauty. Lot 77. Lot 77. How many? 6 burner. 6 burner griller with a sauce tray. Excuse me? 1,500. Thank you very much. You're so kind, man. So kind. Really. I've got to make a kireleison. Had 1.5 I have now, had a 1.5 I have now, had a 5 I 1.5 I have now, had 1.6. What is it, sir? Whatever you want to do. No, the 9 I don't like. I'll take 1.7 from you, sir. 1.7 I have now. Had a 1.7 I have now. Had a 1.7 I have now. Had 1,700 I have now. Had 1.7 against. Had 1.7 against the cat. At 1.7 now. At 1.7 now. Are you taking time? At 1,700 rand. If you want to, it's against you as well. At 1.7 at the back. 1.8, my man. Ahlan wa sahlan. At 1.8. At 1.8 now. At 1.8 now. 1.9. 2,000. 2.1. 2.2. 2.3. 2.4. At 2,300 rand now. At 2,000, my man. 2,300 rand now. At 2,300 rand. No further birds. My man Grant. 1 slicer and a bag. Praat met my. At 1,000 and a half now. At 1,000 and a half now. 1,500 if you want now. At 1,500 rand now. And the slicer, that's it. And the slicer, hey there. Not for you. At 1,000 I have now for the slicer. At 1,000 rand I have now for the slicer. At 1,000 rand now. Not for the bits for 1,000 rand. I'm a club for 1,000 rand. For the bread slicer. No more. For the bread slicer. 1,14. Yay. Yes, I'm moyen. Yes, I'm moyen. There's a single bin. Here's a single. Let's go for the single bin. What am I to say for the single bin? Lot number 79. What am I to say? Single bowl bin. At 500 I have now, at 500 now, 1,000 I have now here. At 1,000 I have now, 1,500 I have now here. I'll go slow now, 1.6 sir. At 1.6 now here. At 1.6 now. At 1,600 rand now. At 1,600 rand now. No further bids at 1,600 rand. No more please, let's not waste time. Here is a potato peeler. Here is a potato peeler. In werkende toestand met die tafel. Met die tafel praat met my. Lot number 80. Lot 80. Start me somewhere. It's gotta go. Lot 80. It's gotta go. Lot 80. Talk to me. 2,000 I have now. Had 2,000 I have now. Anyway, 2.5. Anyway, 2,000 right now for the potato peeler. It's working. It's mooi. Aardappel skoonmaker. Nee. Yeah, praat met my. 2,000 I have now. Had 2,000 I have on the floor now. Had 2,000 I'm going to sell it. Had 2,000 I have now. Had 2,000 I have now. At 2,000 now. No further bids at 2,000 rand. At 2,000 rand. At 2,000 rand. For the first. At 2,000 for the... Sorry, sir? 2.5. Thank you, sir. 2.5 rand. New player. 2.5. 3,000. At 3,000 he says yes. I go slow. 3-2. 3-2, sir. At 3-2. 3-3. I'm going slow. At 3-2, my man there. At 3-2 there. At 3-2 there back. At 3-2 there. No further bids at 3-2 for the potato peeler. Your bid. 1,424. Thank you. Ice machine. Let's go for the ice machine. Not working. Am I right? not working, gentlemen. I'm telling you now. It is not werkend toestande. And in Greek, they δουλεύει. All right. How much? I can't hear you, sir. 1,000. Thank you, sir. At 1,000 I have now. At 1,000 I have now for the ice machine, and it's not working. 1,500 I have. 1,600 to you. 1,600 to you now. 1,700. 1,800. 1,900. 2,000 I have on the net. 2,100 now. 2,200. 2,300. 2,400. 2,500. 2,600. 2,700. 2,800. 2,900. At 2,900 rand on the floor. At 2,900 rand for the ice machine. At 2,900 rand. No further bids at 2,900 rand. Your bid, sir. Number, sir. Sorry, sir. 1,450. Thank you, sir. Your machine. Right, let's go down this line. Lot 82. Lot 82. The stainless steel shelf. Packing shelf. What am I to say for the packing shelf? Start me anyway. 500 I have, thank you. 700 I have now against you. 800 now. 800 I have now. 900 I have now. 900 on the net. 1,100 now. At 1,100 now. At 1,100 rand now for the shelf. At 1,100 I have now. 2,000. 2. 1,200. I heard you. At 1,200. At 1,200 now. At 1,000. 1,300 now. At 1,300 for the packing shelf. 1,400 now. At 1,400 rand. At 1,400 rand. 1,500 now. At 1,500 rand. Allemaal klaar? At 1,500 rand. No more. Sold.
1,409.
Laat ons gaan. Here's a nice cake mixer. Nice cake mixer. He say, let's go. Lot 83. Lot 83. Cake mixer. Daar sê hy. Start me now. 1,000 anyway. 1,000 rand for the cake mixer. He was first, sir. Apologies. 1,000 rand here. 1.5 to you if you want it. 1.5. 2. At 2,000 I have here. At 2,000 I have here now. At 2,000 I have now. At 2,000 I have now. 2,100 now. 2,200. At 2,100 on the net. At 2,300. At 2,300 now. At 2,300. At 2,400 now. At 2,400 now. 2,500 now. At 2,500 now. At 2,500 now. At 2,500 now. At 2,500 rand. At 2,500 rand. No further bids at 2,500 rand. At 2,500 I'm going to sell. 2,700 now. At 2,700 rand now. At 2,700 rand. Allemaal klaar? 2,900. Baie dankie. Ons soek vir 3,000 nou. Hier sal be vloed. At 3,000 rand now. No further bids at 3,000 rand. No, at 2,900 rand. At 2,000 rand. 2,900. At 2,900 rand. Allemaal klaar? Nummer.
1,411.
Right. We are selling 2 sealer machines. They are sealer machines. Some. We are selling them together. Yapadamazi. Yapadamazi. Mazitha Mazbrune. Yapadamazi. Let's go. 1,000 I have for both now. 1,000 I have. How much? At 1,300 I have now. 1,400 I have now on the floor. Yeah. At 1,400 I have now. 1,400 I have. At 1,400 I have on the floor now. For both. Not for each. For both. Yeah, fat out twee. For both. At 1,400 and I have now. At 1,500 now I have now. Thank you, sir. At 1,500 I have now on the net. At 1,500 I have now on the net. At 1,500 for the cat. At 1,500 against you. At 1,500 for the sealer machines. At 1,500 now against. At 1,500 now. No further bids at 1,500 for the sealer machines. No more. Time is up. Number.
1,415.
35. Very big table. Very big table. Stainless steel table. Heavy duty. Start me anyway. Lot 85. Stainless steel table. At 1,000 I have now, at 1,000 now, 1,000 and now. At 1,000 I have and I'm going to sell the table. At 1,000 for the table now. No further bids at 1,000 and now. At 1,000 for the table now. Almal klaar dat they said 1 for the table. All done. 1, 2, sir. At 1, 2. Why, thank you, sir. At 1, 2 now. At 1, 2 now for the table. All done at 1, 2 now for the table. 1, 3 now. At 1, 4 now here on the floor. 1, 4 my plan on the floor here. At 1, 4 for the table. 1, 5 now. 1, 6 on the floor. At 1, 6 on the floor now. At 1, 6 now. 1, 7 now. 1, 8 now. At 1, 7 now on the net. At 1, 7 on the net. No further bids. At 1,700 and 1, 8. At 1, 8 I have now. At 1, 8 now. At 1, 8 now. I have to give it 1, 8. At 1, 8. 1, 8 now on the floor. At 1, 8 now. At 1, 8 now. No further. 1, 9. Round 2. He says yes. At 2,000 now. At 2,000 now on the floor. At 2,000 and now. At 2,000 and no further. 2, 1. No more. At 2,100 now on the net. No further bids at 2, 1. Gone. Your number. Here is a beauty now. The meat scale. Waar my man? Man, hier man ek soek. I've got to get you somewhere. At here is my man, met die scale. Let's go. Lot number 86. The scale and it's working. The meat scale. All right. 5,000 rand. They say ja. At 5,000 rand. My man met 5,000 rand van die Vrystaat. No. At 5,000 rand. 5.5. At 5.5 for the scale. 5.5 for the carcass scale. At 5.5 now. At 5.5 now. He's coming now live. Got the 6. At 6. 6.5. 7.
Yep. 7.
Is there. Agter jou. If you want 7.5.
7.5.
8. 8.5. 9 now. They're going ring of roses. Otherwise 9 is here.
9.5.
10. 10.5. 11 to you. I'm going slow.
10.5 on the floor.
On the floor, yeah? 11. 12 to you, sir. 12 to you, sir. That's usually 12. Thank you. 12. You can't intimidate a cat. You know what my job is? I tame cats. 12 pounds. 12,000 for the first. 12,000 for the second. And it's in working condition. 12.5. 12.5. At 12,500. At 12,500 for the scale. At 12,500 for the electronic carcass scale. No further bids. Are you out, sir? At 12,500. No more. The cat won again. Little bar fridge. Little bar fridge. Daar sê en hy werk. Daar sê. Talk to me on the bar fridge. Lot 87. Start me anywhere. Lot 87. At 300 I have now. 300 is a bit, sir, and I'm going to sell them. At 300 I'm going to sell the bar fridge. At 300 rand. At 300 rand. Why are you buying a bar fridge? You married? How? At 300 rand now. At 300 rand. At 400 rand. You also married? At 400 rand now. At 400 rand now. At 400 rand now for the bar fridge. At 400 rand now. At 400 rand for the bar fridge. At 400 rand for the little bar fridge. At 400 rand. At 400 rand. At 400 rand now. At 400 rand for the bar fridge, and I'm going to sell it. No more. Sold.
1402.
Right. Lot 90 now. 88, sorry, another little fridge here. Let's go. Now, beauty this one. Let's go. 300 again. At 300 I have now. At 300 I have on the floor now. At 300 now. 400 I have now here. At 400 now for the little bar fridge. At 400 I have now.
Yep.
500 I have now on the net. At 500 I have on the net now. At 500 rand. 600 at the back. Donkey meneer. 700 here. Can I say 800, sir? Thank you, sir. 800 at the back there. 800 now. 800 that side. 800 now. At 800 now. 800. 900. 1,000 now. At 1,000 now. On the floor. At 1,000. Baie mooi barkfietsjes. Kyk hierso. I don't do nothing, sir. I sell things. I don't fill things. I sell things. 1,000 rand here. At 1,1 against you because you talk too much. I'm glad. At 1,000 rand, 1,1 here. At 1,1 here. At 1,1 now. At 1,1 now. No further bids, and I'm going to sell it. Sold to the cat.
1403.
Right. Here's a small fridge now. It goes bigger by the sides. Klein broer, small broer, and a groot broer. Nou hier is die groot broer. Daar's hy. Hisense. There it goes. Start me now. 200 I have now. At 200 now. Anywhere 300 rand now for the bigger fridge. At 300 rand. 300 I have now. 400 I have now. At 400 I have now. At 400 I'm going to say 500 now. At 500 now. This one takes more stock. At 500 rand I have now. At 500, 600 rand. At 600 rand now. At 600 rand for the fridge now. At 600 rand now. At 600 rand now. I'm selling at 600 rand now. No more time. At 600 rand. Nommer asseblief.
140.
And here's a beauty. Stainless steel table. Heavy duty. Where's my man? At stainless steel. Let's go. Big one. Stainless steel table. Tolly. 1,000 to start, my man. 1,000. Big stainless steel table. Hey, 1,000 I have now. 1,000. He says, yes, I know, my man. Yeah. Long time with me. 1,1. 1,2. 1,2 I have it on the floor. At 1,2 I have on the floor. At 1,2, 1,3, 1,4 he says yes. I know. 1,4 he says yes. 1,5, 1,6. At 1,5 now. At 1,5 now. At 1,5 now. At 1,5 your bid. At 1,5 your bid. No further bids at 1,500 rand. I'm al klaar. At 1,5. Nommer. Laat ons gaan. Let's go. Let's go. Yes. Another table, yes, with a flashback. Let's go. 1,000 to start. That's why 1,000 I have now. At 1,000 I have for the flashback table. At 1,000 I have for the flashback table. 1,1, 1,2 now. At 1,2 now. No further bids at 1,200 rand. 1,3, 1,4 now. At 1,4 now. At 1,400 rand now. All done at 1,004. 1,5. At 1,500 rand here on the net. No more for this. 1,500 rand. I'm all clear. All done. Right. Warmer. Hierso. Electric warmer. Binary warmer. He say 2-pan warmer. Lot 92. Start me somewhere. Let's go. Let's go. The warmer. Anyway. 500 rand. Thank you, sir. It's a bid. At 500 rand I have now. At 500 rand I have now for the woman. I'm going to sell it. At 500 rand. It's going to go. 600 rand here, sir. They were first. 600 rand. 700 rand. 100 rand more, man. 700 rand. At 700 rand I have gone. 800 rand, thank you. At 800 rand I've got. At 800 rand I have. I'm selling at 800 rand. I say, klaar, met 800 rand. No more for the bids at 800 rand. Number, sir, we're going. Right. Let's go. All the baking pans. All the baking pans. Yeah, all of them. Any offers, they must go. All the baking pans, all of them. They have to go. Anything, 200 rand for the lot. At 200 rand I have now, 300 rand there I have, at the behind you. At 300 rand is yours, sir. At 300 rand for the baking pans now. At 300 rand for the baking pans now I have. At 300 rand now. At 300 rand for the baking pans. At 300 rand now. No further bids at 300 rand for the baking pans. At 300 rand, they're going to go. At 300 rand for the baking pans. I'm all clear. Number, sir. Let's go. Right. All here. The table. Here's a beauty table. Here's a nice one. Here's a stainless steel. Here's a beauty. Here is a beauty. This is a nice with a sides one. Let's go. 1,000 I have now. At 1,000 I have for the table now. At 1,000 I have for this table now. No further bids at 1,000 and for the table. I'm a class for the stainless steel table. All done? Number, please, sir. Let's go. Let's go. All the bins, all these little ice buckets, bins, whatever it is, flower bins. Let's go. No reserve. It must go. It must go. They must go. They must go for the buckets. How much? 300 and I have now. That's 300 and I have now for all the bins here. 300 and now. All the bins 300 and. No further bins of 300 and. I'm clear at 300 and. All done at 300 and for the bins. I'm clear. Number. Patty makers. Let's go. Lot number 96. Lot number 96. Patty presses. Start me with the patty presses.
600.
How much?
600.
600. That's a bit. 700 now, sir. That's 700 now for the patty presses. That's 700 I have now on the floor against the cat. At 700 rand. No more. At 700 rand. 800. 900 now. At 900 now I have now. At 900 now. At 900 rand. No further bids at 900. 1,000. 1 now. At 1 now. No further bids at 1. Clear. Gone. Let's go. All the dishes, lovely, and the trays, big dishes, bowls, everything. Beautiful cutlery, crockery. Lovely, lovely, lovely. All of it. No reserve. Must go. Start me somewhere. Has to go. Has to go. Hear my price.
200.
He was first there. 300 to you. 300 to you. 400 now. At 400 I have now. At 400 I'm going to let them go. At 400 rand for the lot here. At 400 rand. At 400 rand. It's for nothing. A gift. Christmas gift. At 400 rand now. At 400 rand now. All done at 400 rand now. At 400 rand now. All this here. At 400 rand now. All done at 400 rand. I'm letting them go at 400 rand. I said, Clark, 400 rand. Number, sir. Table, stainless steel table, flashback. Let's go. Let's go. 1,000 to start. 500 to start. 500 now, 600 here. 700 here. 800 now. At 800 rand the table now. At 800 rand the table now. At 800 rand the table now. I'm going to sell it. At 800 rand the table. 900 rand on the net. 900 rand now. At 900 rand now. All done at 900 rand now. 1,000 now here. At 1,000 rand now. All done at 1,000 rand. I say, Clark, 1,000 rand. On the floor against you. At 1,000 rand. I say, Clark, for the first and the second number. Where are we? 99. Spare baking bowls. Whoever bought the big mixers. Whoever bought the mixers, the bowls, no reserve, they must go. They must go. 100 rand. 100 rand I have now. 100 rand I have now. At 100 rand I have now there. At 100, 200 rand I have on the net. At 200 rand I have on the net for the spare baking bowls. At 200 rand I have now. They must go. We want to clear the place. At 200 rand I have now. No further bids at 200 rand. It's gone. Right. Here it is. Here's a beaut. All the baking, what do you call them? Molds. The baking, all the baking. And the dishes. And what do you call it? These plastic dishes here. The crates. The lot. Lot 100. Start me. They have to go. How much? Whew. At 200 I have now. At 300 I have now. Yeah. At 300. 400 to you if you want. At 400. 500 I have now. At 500 I have now. At 500 and I have now for the lot. At 600 I have now. 700 I have now. At 700 against you now. At 700. Look how many there's here. 700. At 700 I have now. 800. 1,000. For nothing. At 800 you got 900. 1 I have now. You're losing the bus, sir. At 1 I have now. At 1 I have now. At 1 I have now. At 1,100 and now. At 1,000 I'm going to sell. At 1,100 and now here. At 1,100 and now. No further bids at 1,100 and they're going. At 1,100 and all done. No more.
1409.
All the pots. They must go. All the pots. How much? How much for the pots? They have to go. 300 rand now for all the pots. At 300 rand now, all the pots are going to go. At 300 rand for all the pots now. No further bids on 300 rand for all the pots. All done and dusted for all the pots. Grant. Let's go. Double bowl zinc. Here it is now. Here it is. The zinc. Double bowl zinc. Let's go. Start me now. 800 and I have now. 1,000 to you, sir. 1,000. 1, 2 now. At 1,200 for the double bowl zinc. At 1,200 for the double bowl zinc. At 1,200 now. At 1,200 now. No further bids at 1,200 for the double bowl zinc. At 1,200 now. At 1,200 for the double bowl zinc. At 1,200. All done at 1,200. I shall climb at 1,200. No more. Let's go. The chip dump table. Let's go. 103. 103 is the stainless steel table. Let's go again. Nice one. Let's go. How much? 1,000. 1,000 I have now. 1, 2 I have now. 1, 2 I have now. At 1,200 I have now. At 1,200 N. At 1, 2 I have now. At 1, 2 I have for the table now. Enough further bits at 1, 2. How much cloud at 1, 2? 1, 3, 1, 4. At 1, 4 now. At 1, 4 now. Enough further bits at 1,400 N. All out at 1,400 N. Gone. Number, sir. Right. The chip dump here. At 1. The chip dump now. Let's go for the chip dump now. Here we go. Start me somewhere. Start me somewhere for the chip dump. 500 N. No. Start me somewhere. What are we doing on the chip dump? 500 I have now. At 500 for the chip dump. And it's working. At 500 for the chip dump. At 500 now. At 500 for the chip dump now. At 500. No further bids at 500 for the chip dump. At 500 now. At 500 for the chip dump. I'm a clock for 500. No more. The Go-Go Bangers. You saw. Mooi. All the fly catchers. Let's go. Lot 105. Assorted electric insect zappers. Let's go. What? Any offers? They must go. They must go. 500 for the lot now. At 500 for the lot, yeah. At 500, at 600, can I say, sir? At 600 anyway. At 600 now. At 600 At 600 I have now. At 600, 700 800 I have now. At 800 now. At 800 I have it on the floor. At 800 I have now on the floor, yeah. At 800 Now for the bids at 800 1,000. 1,000 I have now. At 1,000 for the lot of them. At 1,000 now for the lot of them. At 1,000 all of them. At 1,000 now for the bids at 1,000 rand. 1 now. At 1 now. At 1,100 now for the 1 2 now. At 1 2 now. All done at 1,200 rand. All done. No more. Number. 1409. Right. All the dish. Oh, another table, yeah. One stainless steel table, yeah. At one stainless steel table. One stainless steel table, yeah. How much? At 500 I have now. At 500 I have now. At 600 I have on the floor now. At 600 I have on the floor now. At 600 now. At 600 now. At 600, 700. 800 now. At 800 now. 800 now. 800 on the floor. 900. 1,000. 900 on the net. 1 now. 1 2 now. At 1 2 now. 1 3 now. At 1 3 now. 1 4 now. At 1,400. 1 5 now. At 1 5, 1 6 now. At 1,600 on the net. 1 7 now. At 1,700 now. All done at 1,700. All done. Sold. 1415. Right. Lot. All the bins. All the meat bins. All the meat bins. Why shall I know? All the meat bins. At 500 for the lot. At 500 for the lot. All the meat bins at 500 now. At 600 now, sir, to you. Buy donkey at 600 At 700 800 sir. 800 800 fuel. you want. 800 I have on the floor. 800 Rand on the floor now. 800 Rand on the floor for all the meat bins. 800 Rand now. At 800 Rand for the meat bins for nothing. At 800 Rand now, I'm going to sell them. At 800 Rand now. All done at 800 Rand for all the meat bins. Is julle klaar? Number, sir. Let's go. Oh, where are we?
108.
108 is a slicer. 108. Talk to me. Must go. No reserve. Let's go. It's got to go. Talk to me. On the slicer. 100 Rand I have now. 100 Rand I'm going to sell. At 100 Rand I have for the slicer now. At 100 Rand for the slicer now. At 100 Rand for the slicer. At 100 Rand for the meat slicer, the cheese slicer. At 100 Rand for the cheese slicer. 100 Rand. No further bids at 100 Rand. I'm a cloud at 100 Rand for the 200 Rand I have now. At 200 Rand I have now. At 200 Rand. No further bids at 200 Rand for the cheese slicer. I'm a cloud for the cheese slicer. All done? Number.
1410.
This is a scanner. Eh? Scanner. Right. And a bag. It's working. It's working. And it's working the scanner. How much is for the scanner? No reserve. Let's go. It must go. The scanner must go. How much for the scanner? How much? It must go. The scanner. It must go. Hoeveel? No offers. Niemand. Voorbij. Let's go. Bread slicer. Come. Let's go. How much for the bread slicer? Praat met my. 1,000 I have now. 1 now I have. 1 2. 1 2 I have now. At 1 2 I have now. At 1 2 I have now. No wasting time, sir. At 1 2 now I'm going to sell. At 1,200 Rand. No further bids at 1,200 for the slicer. 1 2 I'm going to sell it. Number grant, please. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Right. Chip tray. Chip tray. Chip trolley. Chip trolley. Chip tray. Come. Let's go. Lot 1,111. 500 Rand I have now. At 500 Rand I have now for the trolley. The chip trolley. At 500 Rand I have now. At 500 Rand I have now. At 500 Rand I have for the trolley. Lot 111. At lot 111. What 500 Rand now? At 500 Rand now. Any further bids at 500 Rand now, and I'm going to sell. No further bids at 500 Rand. No more. Let's go. Lot 114. What's it? 11? Where are we? Oh. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Here we're going to do one thing. Highest bidder can take both sets or one set, okay? So we can finish. Highest bidder can take both if he wants. Lot 112, the concrete table set. And I don't have to explain to you, one is got square and one is got round. Okay? Right. For the set. Talk to me for the set. Lot 112 first. 112 first. Stop me. At 1,000 I have now for the whole set now for 112. At 1,000 I have for the set now. At 1,000 and I have now for the whole set now. At 1,000 I have now. At 1,000 now. At 1.5 now anywhere else. At 1.5 now anywhere else now. At 1.5 now. No bits at 1.5 now. At 1.5 now. At 1,000 for the set now. At 1,000 Rand for the set now. At 1,000 Rand for the first. At 1,000 for the second. At 1,500 I have to let go. At 1,500 Rand. Will you accept, sir? At 1.5, are you okay? At 1.5 a set, sir. A set. At 1.5, sir. That's okay? Both for each. Right, 1.5 each. You can go. Right. Where are we going? Yeah. Let's go. Let's go. Lot 114. Lot 114. Stainless steel table, prep table. Let's go. Stainless steel prep table. Stop anyway. Let's go. At 500 I have now, 500 I have now, 1,000 I have now here, and 1,000 I have for the table now. At 1,000 I'm going to go let go. At 1,000 for the table now. 1.5 I have now. 1.6 if you want, sir. At 1.5 I have on the net now. At 1.5 I have now on the net. At 1.5 now, and I'm going to go. At 1.5 now for the table, now we're going. At 1.5 now. No further bids at 1.6 I have now. At 1.6 now. 1.7 if you want, sir. At 1.6 now. At 1.6 now. At 1.6 now. No further bids at 1.7 now. At 1.7 now. No further bids at 1,700 rand now. I'm not cloud at 1,700 rand. All done at 1,700 rand. All done. Let's go. Right. One pie and one woman. One woman in working condition. One woman. Let's go. One woman. Anvil woman. Lot 114. 115. One woman. Salamander, in other words. One salamander. Where to go? Start. 500. 500 to start. At 500 I have nothing back there. At 500 and at 600 and now. 700 now. At 700 I have now. At 700 the back there now. At 700 now I have now. At 700 for the salamander there. At 700 and for the salamander. At 700 and now. At 700 and any further bids at 700 and at 700 and I'm going to sell it. At 700 and now. At 700 and now. No, it has to go. At 700 and for the salamander. No further bids at 700 and number. Right. 2 warmers with the inserts and everything. There it is. And then working condition. Venturas. Anvils. I don't know. There it is. Warmers. Bayamoy. Baymeri warmers. They're both together. They are selling both together. Lot 116. Lot 116. Let's go. For both. What am I saying for both? At 500 I have now, at 500 and now, at 600 if you want, sir. At 600 now, thank you, sir. At 600 and 700 to you, sir, if you want. At 700 and 800 and now, 800 and says yes. 800 and for both now. Both warmers in good condition. Both warmers. At 800 and here. At 800 and now for both warmers. 800 and against you. 800 and 900 to you, sir. At 800 rand is my bid here. At 800 rand now. At 800 rand now. No further bids at 800 rand. I'm on call at 800 rand for the both warmers. 900 rand, thank you, sir. At 900 rand now. At 900 rand for both warmers. No further bids at 900 rand. I'm on call at 900 rand. No more. Yours, sir. Right. Table. Splashback table. Here it is. And here it is. Nice one. 117. What do I want to say for the table now? 1,000 I have here now. At 1,000 I have for the table now. At 1,000 I have for the table now, and I'm going to sell. At 1,000 I have for the table, and I'm going to sell it. At 1,000 I'm going to sell the table. No. Sorry? 1 I have now. 1 now. At 1 now for the table. At 1 now. No further bids at 1 3 now. At 1 now. At 1 now. And no further bids at 1,400 rand. 1 At 1 now. At 1 1 6 if you want, sir. At 1 says yes. At 1 no further bids at 1,600 rand. One more cloud at 1,600 rand. 1 1 At 1,700 rand here. At 1,700 rand. No further bids at 1,700 rand. I'm not cloud at 1,700 rand. No more. Right. The rappers. The rappers. 11118. What am I to say? They have to go. The rappers. They have to go. They have to go. They have to go. 100 and I have now. At 100 and I have to go now. 100 and I'm going to sell. At 100 for the rappers. At 100 for the rappers. At 100 and now. 200 and I have now, sir. 300. At 300 I have now. At 300 for both rappers. At 300 and now. How much? 400 by donkey. At 400 and now for both rappers. At 400 and now. No further bids at 400 and now we're selling. At 400 and now. No further bids at 400 and. No man. Right.
1410.
All the baskets. 119. All the baskets. All the baskets. All the display baskets. They have to go. Talk to me now. 119. How much for the baskets? 100 for all the baskets. 300 and I have now. At 300 and I have now. At 300 and I have now for all the baskets. At 300 and I have now. At 300 and I'm going to sell. How much? At 400 now on the net now. At 400 and I have now. At 400 Rand I have now for all the baskets. At 400 Rand I have. Well done. How much? 500 Rand now. At 500 Rand I have all the baskets. At 500 Rand now I have. At 500 Rand, 600 now. At 600 Rand now. I'm all done at 600 Rand now. All done at 600 Rand. No more. No more. Lot 120. Double bowl zinc, big ones. Deep double bowl zinc. Beauty. Here's a nice one here. Talk to me on the zinc. Double bowl zinc now. Start me somewhere now. At 1,000 I have now. At 1,000 I have now for the zinc now. At double bowl zinc. 1,000 I have now. At 1,000 I have now for the double bowl zinc. At 1,000 I have now. Not for the bids at 1,000 Rand. I'm going to sell now. I haven't got more time now. Yeah. At 1,000 Rand for the double bowl zinc. Numbers. Too late, sir. Right. Let's go. Lot 121. All the baskets. Alma, they have to go. All the baskets. Give me an offer on all the baskets. All the baskets. They have to go. All the baskets. All the baskets. What am I to say for all the baskets? All the plastic baskets. Any offer? 100 Rand I have now for all the baskets now. At 100 Rand I have all the baskets. 100 Rand, all the baskets. 100 Rand. How many baskets are here, Tolly? 55 baskets. 55 baskets for 100 Rand, guys. Come on. 55. 100 Rand I have now. 100 Rand I have for the baskets. At 100 Rand. At 100 Rand for the baskets. 200 now. At 200 I have now. 200 Rand I'm going to have here now. At 200 Rand I have for the baskets. At 200 Rand I have. No. You're not letting him go. No. No. I'm going to withdraw. Okay? Right. Let's go. All right. Lot 122. What is it? Where are we? Table. Stainless steel table now. Stop me now. Yeah. 500 and I have now. 500 and now. At 1,000 at the back behind you now. At 1,000 at the back at the table now. And I'm going to sell it. At 1,000 now at the back. At 1,000 now at the back now. Now for the bits. How much? 1 now. 1 now. At 1. At 1 now. 1 now. At 1 now. At 1 for the table now. At 1 now. At 1 now. At 1,300 Rand now. At 1,300 Rand. That's for the bid at 1,300 Rand for the table. All done and dusted. So let's go. Electronic scale. Electronic scale. Talk to me on the scale. 1409. Let's go on the scale. How much? 500 for the scale now. At 500 for the scale. At 500 for the scale. How much for the scale? 500 for the scale. Any for the bids on the scale? 600 I have now. At 600 now I have for the scale. 700 if you want, sir. At 700 says yes. At 700 for the scale now. At 700 I have for the scale. At 700 for the electronic scale. At 700 now. It's got to go. At 700 now for the scale. At 700 for the first. At 700 for the scale now. I'm a card at 700 Rand. Normal asseblief, let's go. Tenderizer machine, hier sê, en hy werk, is mooi. Hier sê, die tenderizer machine, the tenderizer. What is this? 3,000. Fine, yeah? 3,000. Thank you, sir. At 3,000 Rand I have now for the tenderizer machine. At 3,000 Rand. At 3,000 for the tenderizer machine. Sorry? Are you going to make me tired now? He's going to say 3.5. At 3.5. He knows the values. At 3.5 for the tenderizer machine. At 3.5 now for the tenderizer. 3.6. 4,000. At 4,000 now for the tenderizer machine. At 4,000. At 4,000. Sorry? 4.1. 4.5 it says now to me. At 4.5 now. At 4.5 now. At 4.5. At 4.5 for the tenderizer. At 4,400 Rand for the tenderizer. At 4.5. At 4.5 now. 5,000 Rand now. 5.5 now. At 5.5. At 5.5. 5.5 he says yes. At 5.5 now. At 5.5 now. For the first. At 5.5 for the tenderizing machine. It's in immaculate condition. At 5,500 I'm going to let go. At 5,500 I'm going to let go for the first. At 5.5 for the second. No more. At 5,500, your machine, Sir Grant. Right. This is a metal detector. Metal detector machine. Yes. It's not. You put the bolt on and it detects if you've got metal inside.
Maybe it does both, but it definitely seals.
They said to me it's a metal detector.
We use it as a metal detector. Yes, metal detector.
Can you, but it does both. It does also metal detecting. But it's like new, they haven't, but they use it as a metal detecting as well, and a sealer. Right. Metal detecting and sealer, whatever you want to still call it, but I've got it down here, they use it as a metal detector.
It's to detect the hooks, if there's any metal hooks in,
The packets.
and the biltongs and that when they slice it.
Okay. Right, and the sealer.
Thanks, Lorraine.
It's got to go, no reserve, and it's working in perfect condition. Start me somewhere. 2 grand I have now. Had 2,000 I have, and it's for nothing. This machine, it's for nothing. 2,000 rand now. At 2,000 rand. Where's the Biltong guys? At 2,000 rand now. At 2,000 rand now for this machine. At 2,000 rand. At 2,000 rand. 2-1 now, guys. I'm gonna have to put STC here. At 2,000 rand now. At 2,000 rand. At 2,000 to 3,000.
Too fast. Last chance. Boss on it.
What'd you say?
Let it go.
At 2.5 I have now, at 2.5 now. At 2.5 now, I'm going to let it go. At 2.5 now. At 2.5 now. At 2,500 now. At 2,500 rand now. And I'm going to let it go now. I've been authorized to let it go. At 2.5 now. You're not going to buy this machine with that money ever in your life again. At 2,500 now. At 2.5. No further bids at 2,500 rand. All done at 2,500 rand. Shall I klaar met 2,500 rand? I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let it go. Right. Sausage table at 126 now. Let's go for the table now. Let's go. What am I to say? 1,000 now. At 500 and a half for the table now. At 500 and for the backsplash table. At 500 and a half for the table now. At 500 and now for the table. At 500 and now for the table now. At 500, 1,000 I have now for the table. At 1,000 for the table now. Guys, I'm going to go now. At 1,000 and for the table now. At 1-1 now. At 1-2 now. At 1-2 now. At 1-2 now. Yeah, I have now. At 1-2. At 1-3. At 1-4 now. At 1-4 now. At 1-4 now. At 1-5 now. At 1-5 now. No further bids at 1,500 rand. I'm all klar. So, let's go. He say, highest bidder can take 1 or 2. These are the sausage machines. The sausage machines. Sausage machines. Sausage grillers. Let's go. Let's go. Nice machines hierso. Praat met my manne. Praat met my. Praat met my. How much? 1,000 a machine. Talk to me. Talk to me. Come on. Lot 128. Lot 128. And 128. Lot 128 and 127. 1,000 a start. For the sausage machines. Any offers? 1,000 a start. Eh? No offers. We're going. Right. The scale. Here's the electronic scale. Let's go. Start me somewhere. 500 rand. Any offers on the scale? 500 I have now. 500 for the scale I have. At 500 I have on the scale now. At 500 I have now. At 500 I have it on the scale now. At 500 now. At 500 rand. Not for the bids at 500 on the scale. At 500 rand. 600 I have now on the net. At 600 rand now. Not for the bids at 600 rand. I'm all clear at 600 rand. 600 and I have on that. 600 and yeah, 700 to you, sir. At 600 and now. Not for the bit of 600. For buy, yours. Number. Let's go.
1409.
Lot 130. Lot 130. Table. Stainless steel table. Let's go. Stainless steel table. How much for the table? Let's go for the table. 300 and I have now for the table. At 300 and for the table. At 300 and for the table. Now for the bids at 300 and on the table. At lot 130. At 300 and 400 I have now. At 400 I have now. Now for 500 now. At 500 now. 600 now. 700 here on the floor. 800 to you if you want. 800 to you. For the butcher. Yes. 800 now. 900. 1,000 now. At 1,000 for the table. At 1,000 if you want. 900 is your bid.
1000.
1,000 is your bid. At 1,000 and now. No further bids at 1,000. Rand! I'm al klaar. 1,1. At 1,1 now. At 1,1 now. At 1,100 and now. I'm al klaar at 1,100 Rand. I'm al klaar. No more. So, let's go. All the cake trays. All the cake trays. All the cake trays. All the cake trays. How much for the cake trays? Any offers? They must go. All the cake trays. Any offers? No reserve. On the cake trays. Private bank. On the cake trays. All the cake trays. All of them. 100 and I have now. 100 and I have on the cake trays now. At 100 and now on the cake trays. At 100 and now on the cake trays. 200 if you want, sir. At 200 I have now. 300 to you, sir. 400 to you, sir. At 400 and now. At 400 and now there. At 400 and for the cake trays. At 400 and now for the cake trays. At 400 and for the cake trays. At 400, 500 and on the net. At 500 and now. 600 and now, sir. 600, sir. I have 500 and yeah. 600 if you want. At 500 and I'm going to let them go. You showed 600, you don't want to let go. At 600. At 500 and yeah, I'm going to let them go. At 600. At 500 and here's your bid now. No more than 500 rand. Shall I 8? Sold to you. Let's go. No more. Right. All a table. Here's the beauty. Here's a nice one. Yeah, 132. 132, yeah. Let's start. Let's not play games. 1,000 now at the back there. 1,2 yeah now. At 1,2 yeah in front now. At 1,2 for the table now, and I'm going to sell. At 1,2. No further bids at 1,200 for the splashback table. I'm a card at 1,2. 1,3. 1,4 now. At 1,4 now. No further bids at 1,400 rand. I'm a card at 1,4. So. Let's go. I'm not going to waste time now. I'm not going to move now. Lot 133. All the cutting bins. All the cutting boards. All the cutting boards. How much for the cutting boards? No reserve. How much, sir? 500 I have here. At 500 I have for all the cutting boards. Thank you very much to the cat. At 500 I have on the cat. At 500 all the cutting boards from top to bottom. All the cutting boards 500 rand. No further bids at 500 rand now. All done at 500 rand for the cutting boards. Amal class for the cutting boards. Amal 500 rand. Done and dusted. Sold to use. Right. All the bowls. All the bowls. All the bowls. Let's go. What am I to say for the bowls? 300 and I have on the floor, yeah. At 300 for the bowls. All the bowls. All the bowls. Yeah, 300 for all the bowls. No for the bits of 300 rand. 400 rand here. 500 rand here, sir. 600 rand. 700 rand. 800 to you, sir, if you want. 900 rand now. 1,000. 1,1. At 1,1 I have now on the floor, yeah. At 1,1 now for all the bowls. No further bids on 1,1 now for all the bowls. I'm all clear at 1,1. All done? Sold. Let's go. Next. All the paints. All the paints. Any offers? Any offers? 200 rand. 100 rand. Anyway. For the paints. For the paints. Any offers? 100 I have now there. At 100 rand I have now. At 100 rand now. Not for the bits at 100 rand now. All done at 100 rand, I'm going to sell them. 200 on the net now. At 200 on the net now. At 200 for all the paints. And that one is electric, guys. One's electric. Come on. At 200 rand I have now. At 200 I have now. At 200 rand now. Not for the bits at 200 rand now. All done and dusted at 200 rand. Number. Let's go. 136 at 2 tables, yeah. The 2 tables, yeah. 2 tables. Any offers? Let's go. It's got to go. It's got to. How much, sir? 500 rand now. At 500 rand for the two tables. Any further bids at 500? 600 now. 700 now. 800 now to you at the back, yes, sir. 800, yes. 900 now. At 900 on the net. At 900 now on the net. Let's go. We're moving. At 900 rand now. No, 1,000 now. At 1,000 now. Let's move. Let's move. 900. 1,000 I have now. At 1,000 rand now. No further bids at 1,000 rand. Almal klaar? 1-1, baie dankie. 1-2, let's go. 1-2. At 1-2, almost finish at 1-2. Sold.
1403.
Let's go, yeah. Across. Across. Let's go. The two stands. Any offers for the two stands? Any offers? Let's go. They must go. They have to go. They have to go. They have to go. What are offers on the stands? Any offers on the stands? Hulle moet gaan. No offers. I'm going to walk away if there's no offers.
500.
500 I had take. 500 I'll take the offers. 500 for the two stands. No further bids on 500 rand. Almal klaar at 500 rand. No more. No more. Let's go. Here's a nice one. Butchery bin. Butchery bin. 600 rand I have for the butchery bin. 700 rand. 800 rand. 900 rand here. 1,000 at the back. 1-1 here. At 1-1 here. 1-2 if you want, sir. 1-3 here I have. 1-3 I have here. 1-4 if you want, sir. 1-5 we have here. At 1-5 on the floor here. At 1-5 now we're moving. At 1-5. No further bids at 1-5 now. At 1-5 I have on the floor and I'm going. 1-6 at 1-7 I have now for the butchery bin. At 1-6 I have now on the floor. 1-8 at 1-9 we have now. At 1-9 I have now. No further bids at 1-9. 2 at 2-1 we have. At 2-1 I have now on the bin. At 2-1 on the bin on the floor. At 2-1 on the floor for the first. At 2-1 for the second. Salt on the floor. Laat ons gaan. Let's go. And here it is, the last one of the day. The last one of the day. Kom meneer. The last one of the day. The meat. And it's electronic, né? Ja. The meat scale. Met die stand en alles. Meat scale. Praat met my. At 3,000 I had to start. At 4 behind you now. At 5 at the back now. At 5 at the back. At 6 he saw. At 6 he saw. At 7 now. At 8 he saw. At 8,000 I have now. At 8,000 I have for the scale. At 8,000 I have and I'm selling the scale. The cat is out the bag. At 8,000 rand. At 8,000 for the meat scale, and it's going to go. At 8,000 for the first. At 8,000, the cat is gone. At 8,000, 9.5. At 9.5. At 9.5 now. No further bids at 9.5. Sold. Where's my petrol? My petrol. Not battery, petrol. Is this a fridge or a warmer?
Warmer.
Warmer. Here's a beautiful warmer. Warmer, my brother, warmer. This is a beautiful warmer in good condition, in working, and it's working 100%. The warmer, lot number 140. The warmer. Start me now. Begin my. Had 3,000 rand now. Had 3,000 now. I have now. At 4,000 now. At 5,000 now. At 6,000 if you want, sir. At 5 I have here. At 5,000 for the warmer in good condition. At 5,000 rand I have now. At 5,000. At 6,000. Thank you, sir. I'll take 6.5 now. At 6.5. 7 now. At 7.5. Around 8. 8,000 I have now. At 8,000 I have now. At 8,000 I have now. You're not going to buy this money. This for nothing. At 8,000 I have now for Magenta at the back there. It's against you, sir. At 8,000 I have now. At 8,000 for the first. At 8,000 I'm going to sell it to him. At 8,000 now. It's like new this. At 8,000 rand now. No further bids. I sell at 8. At 8,000 rand. Yours, sir. Well done. At 8,000 rand. It's like new. Right. Display fridge. Mooi fridge. Lot 141. 141. Let's go. Mother Sixero. Let's go. At 1,000 anyway now. At 1,000 anyway. At 1,000 rand. Thank you, sir. At 1,000 rand for the fridge, and it's in working condition. At 1,000 rand, I have nine. It's in working condition here. At 1,000 rand for the display fridge here. At 1,000 rand in lovely condition. 1,1 anywhere else. At 1,1. At 1,1. Anyway, it's a beautiful little fridge and it's working. 1,1 I have on the net now. 1,2 anywhere else. At 1,2. At 1,1 on the net. At 1,1 on the net. For the first, and I'm gonna sell it at 1,1, no way, at 1,1 now, at 1,1 now, at 1,1 for the first, at 1,1 for the second, at 1,1, gone.
1408.
Right, yeah, upright, Dulevi, and it's working, let's go, start me somewhere, let's go. At 1,000 I have now. At 1,000 I have now. At 1,000 I have now for the upright. And it's upright for 1,000 rand now. It's 1,000 rand I have for the upright now. Anyway, for 1,1 I have now. 1,2 now. At what? Excuse me. At 1,2 now I have. At 1,2 now. At 1,2 against the cat. At 1,2 now. At 1,2 now. No further bids at 1,2 now. 1,3 now. 1,4 now. At 1,4, yes, he says. At 1,4. Come on, cat. At 1,4 now. 1,5. At 1,500 rand now. At 1,500 now. At 1,500 now. At 1,500 now. No further bids at 1,500. 1,600 now behind. Thank you, sir. At 1,600 now. 1,600 now. At 1,600 now. All done at 1,600. 1,700. 1,800. Thank you, sir. At 1,800. At 1,800 now. 1,800 now. I'm going to try at 1,800 rand. For the first and the second. Good. At 1,900 again. It says in time. Give me around 2. At 1,200. Thank you. At 1,200 he says yes. At 1,200 now. At 1,200 now. At 1,200 rand. 2,000. Sorry. I'm just at 2,000 rand now. At 2,000 rand. It's my buyer is 2,000 against you. At 2,000 rand. At 2,000 against you. At 2,000 against you. At 2,000 rand now for the first. At 2,000. No more. Numbers are yours. Right. Here's another one. This is called Figa Menichta que de Sexero. You know this one? Okay. Let's go. Beautiful fridge. It's working, sir? Nichtas. Let's go. What am I to say for this little one? What is it? No. 1,000 I want down. Right, start me now. At 500 I have now, at 500 for the fridge now. At 500, at 1,1 I have now for the fridge. 1,3 I have now, my man, yeah. Hey, my man, yeah, it's 1,3 yeah now. At 1,4 now. At 1,4, he says yes. At 1,4 now. At 1,4 now. At 1,4 I have now. At 1,4 on the floor now. At 1,4. At 1,4 Nichta. Ella Nichta. 1,4. At 1,4 now. At 1,4. At 1,4 now. At 1,4. At 1,4 now for the fridge. And I'm gonna sell at 1,400 rand for the first. At 1,4 for the second. Sold. Number, sir. Shukran. Right, gentlemen, if you don't know here, don't play here. Because I know this very well. You know what we do at the airport, hey? You know what we do. We blast the food before we put it in the airplane. So this is a blast freezer. You blast. This is a blast freezer. Grant?
Yes, sir.
You know the blast.
Yes, sir. You freeze the food before it goes on the airplane.
That's it. So you know what these costs, eh? This is a blast freezer to the people on the net. Blast freezer. Lot 114. Lot 114 is a blast freezer. 144. Right, gentlemen. We have a standing offer of 8,000 to start. Hit, they said at 10,000 now, 10,000 now, 10,000. At 10,000, I'm looking for 11. At 11,000, I'm looking for someone 11. At 10,000, I have now for the blast freezer. You know, you only bought the motor now. At 10,000 rand. At 10,000 rand for the blast freezer. At 10,000 rand now. At 10,000 now. At 10,000 for the blast freezer. At 10,000 rand. Any further bids at 10,000 rand for the blast freezer. At 10,000 rand for the blast freezer. At 10,000 rand. Any further bids for the 10,000 rand? It's going to go for 10,000 rand for the blast freezer. The bargain of the day at 10,000 rand. No further bids than 10,000 rand for the blast freezer. You can't buy this, sir, even for 60,000. At 10,000 rand for the blast freezer. Are you sure? No more. I'm going to let it go. Well done. You know what you're doing. Too late. Too late. Can't. I warned you. I warned you. Sold. You owe me a whiskey.
I'll freeze it for you.
No, I don't drink frozen whiskey. Because I know I've got these.
It's true.
That's a bargain. Bring it to me to resell it, please. 145, single bolt zinc in good condition. There it is. Let's go. That upsetted me that day. 500 and now, at 500 and 600 and now, you're gonna have to pay something. At 600, at 700 and at 800 and now, at 800, at 900 and now, at 900, 1,000 and 1 now, at 1 now, at 1 2, at 1 now, at 1 now, at 1 2 now, at 1 2 now, at 1 3, at 1 4, at 1 5, at 1,400 and now, at 1,500 and now. No further bids at 1,500. Red! Yours, 1 4. Right. Nice table. Nice little table. Splashback. Let's go. 1 5. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. One. How much for the little table? 500 rand to start. 500 rand here. 500 rand here. 600 rand. 700 rand now here. 800 rand. 900 rand if you want on the net. 900 rand. At 800 rand I have here now. At 800 rand I'm going to sell it. At 800 rand. No for the bids at 800 rand. At 800 rand. No for the bids. At 900 and I have now. 1,000 I have now. At 1,000 I have now. 1 now. At 1 now. At 1 now. No further bids at 1 1. All mouths are at 1 1. No. Sold. Right. All the trays on top. All the baking trays. All the trays. All the display trays. Almal. They have to go. Gentlemen. Meneer. Sir, gentlemen, the auction is here. All the trays, the display trays, everything. They have to go. Have to go. What am I to say? How much? Any offers on the trays? How much on the trays? All the trays. 200. 200 on the trays. 200 I have on the trays now. At 200 on the trays, on the display trays. At 200 on the trays. At 200 now. No further bids on the trays at 200 rand. All the trays for 200 rand. All these trays for 200 rand. No more for 200 rand. I'm selling. All going for 200 rand. Number. Let's go. Right. Here is another chip dump table. Oh, here's a beauty. Here's a nice one. Here is a beauty. At a table with a splashback, 148. Talk to me now. Talk to me. At 500 to start now. At 500 I have now. At 500 I'm going to sell. At 500 and now. At 600 rand. At 700 I have already here. You late. At 800 now. At 900 I have now on the floor. At 900 I have on the floor. 1,000 now. 1 now. At 1 I have now. At 1 I'm going to sell. At 1 no further bids at 1 At 1 here. No more. Sold, sir. Come, number. Let's go. The chip dump now. Let's go. 149. A chip dump. How much for the chip dump in immaculate condition? Look at it. It's like new. It's like new, the chip dump. Talk to me. Talk to me. 149. Talk to me. Talk to me. There is no reserve. It's got to go. It's got to go. 500 I have. 5 now. I see the other finger you're holding it. Don't be like that. It's 5. I started 5. I don't like 5. 500 I have now. At 500 and now. At 500 and I'm going to sell. At 500 and now for the chip dump now. At 500 and 600 to you, sir. Thank you, sir. 600, he says yes. At 600 here now. At 600 and. No further bids at 600 and. I'm a car at 600 and. No more. Yours, sir. Here it is. Double bowl. Lot 150. Let's go. At 150 now. At 150 now. Talk to me now. 1,000 to start now. At 1,000 to start. At 1,000. 1 now. 1 here. 1 2 to you if you want. At 1 2 now. 1 3. 1 4 now. 1 5 now. Yeah. 1 6 now. 1 7. 1 8. 1 9. 2,000. 2,000 at the back. 2 1. 2,000 there. My man, 2,000. 2,000. No further bids at 2,000 rand. 2-1 now I have. 2-2 now. At 2-2 now. 2-2 at the back I have. At 2-2 at the back I have. 2-3. 2-4 I have. At 2,400 and I have. At 2,400 and 2-5. At 2-6 yes. At 2-6 against you. No further bids at 2-6. I'm not clear at 2-6. Ashara 8 off in. 2-8, he says yes. At 2-8, he says yes. 2-8 for the first. At 2-8 for the last. 2-9. By ranke. 3 days symptom. At 3,000 is coming. At 3,000, yes. Are we dancing? Are we shaking? Are we out? At 3,000 now. At 3,000 then now. 3 days in ranta. Amal 8 for the first. 3,000 for the second. Too late. Sold. Let's go. Here's another one. And it's coming to the end. The last of the zincs. The last of the zincs. Start me at 1,000 I have now. At 1,000 I have now the man in the back. At 1,000 I have. And it's the last one. At what? At 1-1. At 1-2 now. At 1-2 I have now. At 1-2. At 1-5 now. Yeah. At 1-5 now. Are you in, sir? At 1-6. At 1-7. At 1-6 at the back. At 1-6 at the back. At 1-6. Now for the bids at 1-6. At 1-6. What? 1-9. 2,000. At 2,000 now. At 2,000 now. At 2,000 now. At 2,000. 2-1. At 2-2. At 2-2 now. At 2-2-2. At 2-2 now. 2-3. 2-4. 2-5 if you want. At 2-3 at the back. At 2-3 on the floor. 2-5. At 2-6. At 2-6 now. At 2-6 now. At 2,000. 2-7. At 2-7. At 2,700 on the cat. At 2,000 on the cat. No more on the cat. At 2,700 rand. Your bid.
1409.
Buy on pay. Right. Here's a nice one. With a table and a tripa, in other words, and the hole. Table with a hole. Okay. Right. What am I to say for the table? At 500 and I have, at 500 and now. At 500 and I have now. At 500 and for the table now. 600 and I have 700 and now. At 700 and now anywhere else. At 700, 800 and now this side now. At 800 and now. At 800, 900 and now. 1,000 here. At 1,000 now. At 1,000. 1-1 now. At 1-1 now. At 1-1 now there. At 1-1 now. At 1-1 now. My man on the floor now. At 1-1 now. At 1-1. 1-2. 1-3 now. At 1-3 now. It's got the hole, sir. It's got the hole. It's got the drain hole. At 1-3 now. It's 1-3 now. At 1-3. 1-4. 1-5. It says 1-5 to me, yes. At 1-5 now. No more at 1-5. Gone. Let's go. Right. The plate stands. Any offers? 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 1- At 200 I have now, 200 and I have now, I'm going to sell them. At 200 and for the plate stands, I'm going to sell. At 200 now, enough further bids at 200 and now. I'm up for at 200 and for the plate stands. All done and dusted for the plate stands at 200 and. All done at 200 and. Numerous please. Thank you, sir. Here's the mixer. Here's the mixer. What am I saying to the mixer? Any offers on the mixer? It's got to go. Give me an offer. Don't look at me. Don't walk away. Look at me. I want an offer on the mixer. My brother. On the mixer. 100 rand. 100 and I have now on the mixer. 100 and I have on the mixer now. 100 to start. 100 to start on the mixer now, and I'm going to sell. At 100 and on the mixer now. At 100 and now. No further bids on the mixer. At 100 and on the mixer now, I'm going to sell it. 200 now. 150 I have now. At 150 I have on the mixer. At 150 I have on the mixer. At 150 on the mixer now. No further bids at 150 now. Sold to you, sir. Next. Lot 155. Here's another table. Beauty. They're coming to the end. The second last. The second last. This is like new. 155. Talk to me now. 500 and I have now. At 500 and I on the floor now. At 500 and now. At 600 and now. At 700 and. At 800 and on the floor now. At 900 and now. At 900. At 1,000 yeah. At 1,000 now. At 1,000 now on the floor. At 1,000 on the floor now. At 1 club no. At 1-1. At 1-2 now on the floor. At 1-2 on the floor now. At 1 club no. At 1-2. 1-3. 1-4. At 1-4 now. At 1-4 now. At 1,500 rand. On the floor at 1.5. Second last table of the day at 1,500. 1.6. At 1,600 rand on the cake. At 1,600 rand now. No further bids at 1,600 rand. Allemaal klaar? Nommer. Here's a nice scale in working condition, ladies and gentlemen. Working condition. Talk to me now on the scale. Talk to me now. 500. Buy donkey at 500 rand on the beautiful scale, and it's working. It is working. Plug it in, and it's working. 600 to you, sir. He says yes. 700 to you, sir. 600 here, and I'm going to sell it. 700 now. 800 now on the cat. 800. 900 now. 900 now. Against. 900 here. 1,000 now. 1-1. 1,000 here. And 1,000 now here on the net. At 1,000, 1,000 here. 1-1 now, he says yes. 1-2 to you, sir. 1-2 on the cat. At 1-1 here on the floor. No further bids at 1-1 now. 1-2. At 1-2. 1-2 now on the cat. 1-2 on the cat. No further bids at 1-2. Is your 8. At 1,200 rand. No more. Sold to the cat. Right, ladies and gentlemen. The vacuum sealer. It is not working. I'm repeating it myself also. It is not working. It needs repairs. We've been told it is not working. Sir, I don't care. It is not working. Consumer Act Protection Act. It's called. All right. It is not working. All right. Right. 500 and I have now, 500 and now, and it's not working. 500, 600 and I have at the back there, sir. At 600 and now, at 600 and now, at 700 and now, at 700 and 800 and at the back, 900 and here, 1,000 at the back, 1-1, 1-2, 1-3 to you, sir. 1-5, 1-6. At 1,600 rand, and it's not working, so I'm going to repeat myself for the last time. Don't come and tell me I won't take it or I didn't check. It is not working. It's an auction, sir. So what you see is what you get is how you got your wife with no guarantees. Okay. At 1.7 I have now. 1.8. At 1,800 rand on the floor. At 1.8 on the floor. And I'm going to repeat. 1.9. Around 2,000. 2,000 rand, 2,000 rand. No further bids at 2,000 rand. Sold to you, sir. Right. For the last time, footstoots, as is. Right. Lot 158, the last of the tables. Our last of the tables. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have another auction next year early for the same client, which a lot of stuff will be on again. So please don't be ready because will be another big auction. Right. Lot 158, another table. Talk to me now. At 500 and a half. At 500 and a half now. At 600 and a half on the floor. At 600 and for the last table. At 600 and at 700 and 800 and I have now. At 800 and now I have. At 800 and now. At 800 and now I'm going to sell the table. The last of the tables. At 800 and 900 and now. At 900 and now. At 900 and now. 1,000 now. At 1,000 I have now. At 1,000 now. At 1,000 now.
Yep.
1-1. At 1-1. At 1-1. At 1-1. No more for the best at 1-1 on the net. At 1-1. At 1-1. I'm a cloud at 1-1. Yellow number. Right. Here's another one. The shrinker. Plastic shrinker. Any offers? Come on. 300 I have now. 300 now I have now for the shrinker. The plastic shrinker in working condition. 300 and now. And it's working. It's like new. You can see it. It's like new. 300 and I have now. At 300 and I have now. It's got to go. It's got to go. 300 and now for the shrinker. At 300 and. 300 and for the heat shrinker. 400 and now. At 400 and now. Not for the bits at 400 and. I'm a cloud at 400 and. I'm going to sell at 400 and. I'm a cloud at 400 and. Number. Let's go. Yeah, all the display trolleys. Amal, all the display trolleys. All the display trolleys. How much for the display trolleys? They have to go. The display trolleys. Lot 160. How much? Lot 160. Bread shelves, in other words. All of them. There's no reserve. They have to go. Come on, guys. At 200 I have now. At 200. 400 to you. 400 I have now. At 400 I have now for all the display trolleys, bread trolleys. At 400 and I have now for all the display trolleys. 500 I have on the net now. At 500 I have now. At 500 I have now for the display trolleys. I'm selling for all the display trolleys. I'm 600 and I have now. At 600 and now. At 600 and I'm a cloud at 600 and all done. Normal. Right. Nog 'n fridge, nog 'n deep fridge, nog 'n deep fridge, nog 'n deep fridge. Talk to me. How much?
1,000.
At 1,000 I have now. At 1,000 I have now. At 1,500 I have now. At 1,500 I have now. At 1,500 I have now. No further bids at 1,000. 1,600 at 1,700. At 1,700 I have now. At 1,700 I have now. No further bids at 1,700 and now. I'm a cloud at 1,700 and now. All done and dusted at 1,700. Number, sir. Thank you. Right. Lot 162. Here's a nice one. 162 is a bun divider. Right. Come now. Bun divider. Start me somewhere. 5,000 I have now. 6,000 I have here. 7,000 to you. 8,000 here. 8.5. You got one. At 8,000 area for the bun divider in good condition here, in working condition. 8,000 rand here now. At 8,000 rand here for the bun divider. At 8,000 and it's going to go. At 8,000 rand here. 8.5 now. At 8.5 now. At 8.5 now. At 8.5. 8.5 now. 9,000 rand now. At 9,000 rand. At 9,000 rand now. At 9,000 rand now. At 9,000 rand now. No further bids at 9,000 rand. 9,000 rand, 9.5 here. At 9,000 rand, your number. Thank you. Right, the dustbins. The dustbins. 163. How much for all the dustbins? At 200 rand I have now. 200 rand I have now for all the dustbins. At 200 rand I have now for all the dustbins. At 200 rand now. All done for dustbins, for all done. All done for 200 rand. I'm a clock for 200 rand for all the dustbins. 300 rand now. 400 rand now. At 400 rand for all the dustbins. At 400 rand now. I'm a clock at 400 rand. All done and dustbins 400 rand. All done. At 400 Rand. Number. Washing machine. The washing machine. Tumble dryer. Oh, tumble dryer. Tumble dryer. How much for the tumble dryer? 164 for the tumble dryer. How much for the tumble dryer? Must go. No reserves. Must go. How much for the tumble dryer? Plot and lay. How much? 300 and I have now for the tumble dryer. At 300 and I have now. At 300 and it's going to go. Tumble dryer and it's working. At 300 and now. 400 and now. At 400 and. At 400 and now for the tumble dryer. At 400 and now. I'm a cloud at 400 and now. All done at that's at 500 and now. At 500 and now for the tumble dryer. 600 and now. At 600 and now. Problem at 600 and now. All done at that's at 600 and. All done at 600 and. I'm a cloud at 600 and. Number.
1403.
Right. The oven. With a trolley. Met alles in. Daar's hy. Rotisserie oven. Okay. Rotary rack. Everything. Must go. Talk to me now. Rotisserie oven. What am I to say? Moet gaan. Has to go. Close it. 165. How much for the oven? How much for the oven? Start me anyway. I want to offer for the oven. With the motor on top and everything. How much for the oven? And we've got a forklift to help you load. We give you a forklift, we load you. Any offers on the oven? No offers on the oven. Nothing. Ons gaan. 166, the deck oven. I've been told here, look, 166. There's 2 decks that are not working. Am I right? 2 decks that are not working here. All right? Where am I to start on the ovens? On the deck oven. 2 decks are not working. Where am I to start? Any offers on the deck oven? Any offers? Nothing on the oven. No offers. Niks. Verby. Right. Let's go on the safes. With the keys. We have the keys. There they are on. Right. Lot 167. Drop safe with keys. No reserves. Start me anywhere. Let's go. What am I to say on the safe? First safe. Any offers on the safe? 1,000.
You're very quiet now, eh?
Yeah.
But you bought a lot. You need to put your money in.
Scrap metals value. Any offers on the safes? No offers on the safes. We verby. Right. Let's go on the table. Yo. Right, lot 172. Stainless steel tables. What am I saying? Start me anyway. At 1,000 I have now, 1,000 I have on the table. At 1,000 I have now on the table now. At 1,000 and for the stainless steel tables. At 1,000 and I have now. At 1,000 and on the table now. No further bids at 1,000 and on the table now. At 1,000 and 1 now. At 1 2 now. At 1 2 now. At 1 2 now. No further bids at 1 2.
Yep. 13.
At 1 3 now. At 1 3. At 1 4 now. At 1 4 now. No further bids at 1 4. No more further bids at 1 4. No more. Let's go. Here is a cool calmer. Here's a fridge. There's the fridge. 3-door. Okay. No compressors. Okay. Just a cabinet. What am I to say? Any offers? They must go. Any offers? They have to go. 1,000. Oh, yes, I'll do it now. No offers. Right, the racking, the whole line of the racking. There it is, the heavy duty racking, the whole line. Start menu on the racking. The whole line. Lot 173. At 2,000 I have for the racking now. At 2,000 I have now for the racking. At 2,000 rand. At 2,000 rand for the racking I have and I'm going to sell it. At 2,000 rand for the racking. At 2,000 rand for the whole racking. Heavy duty racking, guys, look at it. 16 tier at 2,000 rand for the whole racking. At 2,000 rand. At 2,000 rand for the whole racking. For the heavy duty rack. The shelving, the whole shelving at 2,000 rand for the whole shelf. At 2,000 rand. No further bids at 2,000 rand for the whole rack. I'm going to sell it. Sold. Too late. I think we're going to play here. Where are we going after this?
The table, the trolleys.
The trolleys. Okay, we're going to sell each trolley. There are 20, 20 trolleys per line. I'm going to sell per line. All right, and they all got wheels and they're all working. 20 trolleys per line. 20 trolleys per line. Right, lot 174 for 20 trolleys. What am I to say for 20 trolleys? $500 a trolley.
Per trolley.
I don't know. Per trolley. How much per trolley?
1,300 rand to buy a trolley.
Hey? No. I'm going to sell per line. Per line. 20 trolleys. How much per trolley? 300 a trolley. 300 times 20?
6,000.
6,000 rand.
You don't buy it for 6,000. And drain the trolley.
Let's start at 100 and a trolley. At 100 and a trolley I have now. At 100 and a trolley I have now. At 100 and a trolley I have now. At 100 and I'm going to sell them. At 100 and a trolley. At 100 and a trolley. At 100 and a trolley now. At 100 and a trolley. At 100 and, sorry? So I'll do the bidding. I'm going up in 50s. At 100 and a trolley. 150 a trolley now. At 150 a trolley. 200 and a trolley now. At 200 and a trolley now. At 250 a trolley if you want, sir. At 250 a trolley now. At 200 and a trolley now. I'm going to tell you what we're going to do. Highest bidder can choose to take the lot. Okay? So we can finish. At 100 and a 200 and a trolley I have now here. At 200 and a trolley I can have now here. At 200 and a trolley now. No further bids at 200 and a trolley. No one? At 200 and a trolley. All done. Your bids, sir. How many? Do we take a lot? All of it. All the trolleys are gone. Thank you very much. Let's go. Right. Pancake machine. What? Sorry, there's another table. 189. Stainless steel table. Stainless steel table. 189. Right. How much for the heavy big stainless steel table? Talk to me. 500 rand to start. At 500 I have now. At 500 and I have now. At 500 and I have. At 500 for the table now. 600 and now. At 600 and now. At 600 and now. At 600 for the table. At 600 and now. No further bids at 600 rand. All done at 600 for the table. I'm not clear at 600 rand. Yours, sir. Right. The pancake or machine or the waffle machine or the flapjack machine there, brand new. What am I to say for the machine? What am I to say? 500 and I have now. At 500 and I have for the pancake machine. At 500 and now. At 500 for the machine. At 500 and now. All done at 500. I'm going to sell this machine at 500 for the waffle maker. 500 Rand now. All done at 500 Rand. All done for the pancake machine at 500 Rand. All done at 500. No further bids at 500 Rand. We're selling it at 500 Rand. Number. Right. The scale. Here's a scale. Brand new. Scale. Small table scale. Talk to me on the scale. How much for the scale now? How much for the scale? It must go for the scale. How much for the scale? 400 Rand for the scale at the back there. At 400 Rand for the scale. 400 Rand for the scale. At 191. Lot 191. At lot 191. How much? 400 Rand I have for the scale. At 400 Rand I have for the scale. I'm selling the scale at 400 Rand. Brand new scale at 400 Rand. No further bids at 400 Rand. I'm all clear at 400 Rand. Number, sir. Let's go. You're wasting time. Right, here's one. Nice one. Here's this big scale. Also like new. Let's go. 192. Let's go. How much for the scale? How much? 500 Rand I have now for the scale. At 500 Rand I have. At 500 Rand I have for the new scale. At 500 Rand now. At 500 Rand for the scale. At 500 Rand I have for the scale, yeah. At 500 Rand now. 600 to you if you want, sir. 500 Rand now. No further bids at 500 Rand. 600 I have. 700 Rand now. At 700 Rand. 800 Rand now. At 800 Rand. 800 Rand for the scale, yeah, on the floor. On the floor, 800 Rand. 800 Rand. No further bids at 800 Rand. Almal klaar at 800 Rand for the new scale. At 800 Rand for the first. At your signal. You lost the signal. As jy reg? At
Yep, 900.
900 I have now. At 900 I have for the scale. At 900 Rand I have for the scale. No further bids at 900 Rand for the scale. All done and dusted for the scale at 900 Rand. Almal uit. Okay? Sorry? Is he bidding on the scale?
Just checking something.
At 900 Rand is your bid on the scale. At 900 Rand, almal uit. Your bid. Come. Let's go. 193. Here's another scale now. Also new. Small one. 900 Rand. I mean, what's the bid on 193 for the scale? 193. How much for the scale? Grant, there's another little scale. 400 Rand, can I say? Boer. New. 400 Rand. 300. Thank you. 300 is a bid. 400 I have now. 400 Rand. At 400 Rand I have on the line. 400 Rand. At 400 Rand for the scale. No further bids at 400 Rand. I'm all clear at 400 Rand. 500 Rand now. 500 Rand for the scale. At 500 Rand. I'm all clear at 500 Rand. Number. Right. The shelf with the stands. The whole shelf with the stands. The whole shelf and the stands. How much? The shelf and the stands. Talk to me. Must go. Praat. Any offers? Any offers? $300. 500 I have now. At 500 and I'm going to sell. At 500 I'm going to sell it everything. The shelf with this big bricks. Any 500 I have. At 500 and no further offers at 500 Rand. Number. Let's go. Let's go. Where are we? 195. The deep freeze. The deep freeze. You say, and it's working. And it's in good condition. Look at it now. Here it is. There is a deep fridge. Talk to me now. We're nearly finished now. Let's go. How much for the deep fridge? 1,000 I have now. 1,2 here inside. At 1,2 now I have inside. At 1,2 now. No further bids at 1,200 Rand I'm going to sell. 1,3. 1,4 now. At 1,4 now. At 1,4 now. Are we done at 1,4 now? No. 1,5. 1,6 now. At 1,6 now. No further bids at 1,6. I'm all clear at 1,6. Number, let's go. Right, guys. I'm putting the cabinets together. One lot. You can buy one lot. And if you want compressors, the next auctions will have a lot of compressors. So be careful. We can sell you the compressors. The lot. And they're in good condition, these cabinets. They're in good condition. We have the compressors. We're just taking them out. We have the compressors. Talk to me. We got the other fridge goes there, you understand? It's a whole line. We're busy with a lot of stuff to remove, but we have. We've got this fridge who goes with that one. So it's a whole line. Okay. Am I right, Andrew? Yes. It's a whole line. And we have the compressors. Can talk to us, but we have to move. We're selling no reserve. They have to go. And you can buy this one, you can buy the one outside. Right. What am I to say? Any offers? Otherwise, I'll put them up with the compressors next round and you're going to pay much more. Any offers? You can see the conditions. No offers. How much you want? Give us an offer. We're unreserved. They've got to go. How much? 5,000. Can't let them go for that money.
8, 10, or 10. Still going to get the sides.
We'll let them go. 10,000? No. Just for these two. What lot is this? 198. I'll tell you what, I'll take it on at 15 for both. You can have them. 15,000. Give it to the man for 15,000.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. Right. We have an offer for 15,000 for both. Hello? 15,000. Sell it to the gentleman. Okay. Right. Let's go. 199. The bandsaw. Let's go. 199. Let's go. What do I want to say? At 199. Start me anyway. At 199 for the bandsaw. At 4,000 I have now. At 4,000 I have. At 4,000 I have now. At 4,000 and I have now, and I'm going to sell it. At 4,000 and I have. At 4,000 for the bandsaw now. At 4,000 rand. No further bids at 4,000 rand. I'm selling the bandsaw. At 4,000 rand now. At 4,000 and I have now for the bandsaw now. At 4,000 rand. No further bids at 4,000 rand. At 5,000 now. At 5,000 I have now. At 5,000 I have for the bandsaw. At 5.5 to you, sir, if you want. At 5.5, he says yes. At 5.5, 6 now. At 6,000, yes. At 6,000 now. At 6,000. At 6,000 for the bandsaw now. At 6,000 rand. No further bids at 6,000 rand. Yes, sir. At 6,000 rand. Here's for the fridge. Let's go for the fridge now. Let's go for the fridge. Any bids on the fridge now? Any further bids? Anyone? 500 rand for the fridge. At 500 rand for the fridge, and I'm going to sell. At 500 rand now for the fridge. At 500 rand. At 500 rand for the fridge. No further bids at 500 rand for the fridge. 500 rand for the fridge. Any offers on the fridge at 500 rand? I'm a Clark.
Yep,
600 rand I have. At 600 rand I have for the fridge. At 600 rand. No further bids at 600 rand. I'm a Clark at 600 rand. At 600 rand. All done at 600 rand. Gone. Let's go. Here's the beauty. Here's a nice one. Here's the meat, the bread slicer. Here's the bread slicer. The Rolls Royce of the bread slicers. Here's the Rolls Royce of the bread slicers. Talk to me now. On the bread slicer, here's the Rolls Royce of it. At 1,000 I have now. At 1,000 I have now on the bread slicer now. At 1.5 now. At 1.5 now I have it. At 1.5 now for the bread slicer. At 1.5 now. At 1.5 for the bread slicer. At 1.5. No further bids at 1.5 now. At 1.5 now, and I'm going to sell it. At 1.5. No further bids. Sold to you, sir. Right. What is this? Page 3. Not working. Not working. Andrew?
Yes,
Not working.
not working over, yes.
Not working. Not guaranteed, not working. Any offers for that? Any offers? Not working. not working. Your problem. I don't know what, it's not working. Any offers, 1,000 to take it away. At 500 Rand, I'm going to take it. At 500 Rand, I'll take it for, at 500 Rand. At 500 Rand now. At 500 Rand now. At 500 Rand, it's going to go. At 500 Rand now. No further bids at 500 Rand. Your bid, sir. Right. This is a, what? No. Bread molder. Not a donor, what you call it, a croissant maker. Bread molder, but it's working, this one. This one is working. Right, what am I to say for the bread molder? At 3,000 Rand I have now. At 3,000 I have now. At 3,000 Rand now. At 3,000 Rand now. At 3,000 Rand. No further bids at 3,000 Rand. I'm going to sell at 3,000 Rand now. I'm going to cut at 3,000 Rand. 3.5 now. At 3.5 now. At 4,000 now. At 4. 4.5 now. At 4.5 now. At 4.5. 5,000 now. At 5,000. 5.5. At 5,000 Rand now. I'm going to cut at 5,000 Rand. Sold to you, sir. Right, the last of the deep fridge, gentlemen. The last. Right, the last deep fridge. Talk to me now. At 1,000 Rand I have now. At 1,000 Rand I have now. No further bids at 1,000 Rand now. I'm going to cloud at 1,000 Rand for the deep fridge. All done at 5,000 Rand. All 1-1 now. At 1-1-2 here. At 1-2 now. At 1-3 now. At 1-3 here on the floor first. At 1-3 now. At 1-3 now. All 1-4 now. At 1-4 now on the net. At 1,400 Rand. 1-5 now. At 1,500 Rand. How much cloud at 1,7 now. At 1,700 Rand. All done at 1,700 Rand. No more. 1-8. At 1-8 now. I'm all done at 1,800 Rand. All done at 1,800 Rand.
Yep,
1-9 at 1,900 Rand. All done at 1,900 Rand. I'm all clear at 1,900 Rand. Sold to you.
1415.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Festive and a lovely Christmas. Thank you very much to Meerkat and all the team and all our clients. Please, wherever you're going, take care. May God bless you. We'll see you next year. We're going to have another very big one of catering, and our next one will also be out of town. Please watch the press. We will keep you posted. Thank you. Make sure you do the payments, and we will help you dispatch. We have a forklift dispatching starts tomorrow morning. Thanks again. God bless you all.
Nee, ek sal. Weer 'n groot Afrikaner. Jy's hier. Baie dankie aan elke koper wat vandag die dag saam met ons geniet het en baie geluk met julle lotte wat julle gekoop het. Daar sal in Januarie weer 'n groot veiling wees. Kyk asseblief uit daarvoor en geseënde Kersfees en voorspoed vir die nuwe jaar.